before.
Yep, a premium account is required. Yep.
Oh, that's why. Okay.
What's up? Good Saturday morning, everyone.
What's happening, everyone?
We are back. Well, I guess we were back last week, but
I mean, we were,
but we're back once again. And
yes,
this will be the last of the regular show for a couple of weeks anyway. So,
got a couple of interviews lined up the next 2 Saturdays, which is cool.
Yeah, so it's a little bit easier on us because we only have to research one band.
Yeah, yes, we do.
So it's we don't have to research everything that's going on, which we do, but we don't have to do it as in depth.
Yeah,
we just do the little ticker about stuff.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, I ain't even got that up yet.
Just because we research it doesn't mean we use it. So
yeah, there you go. So. Yeah.
We've got a couple of interviews lined up for the next couple of weeks, which is cool. I still haven't heard back from the band I reviewed last week, which is weird. I have a feeling that maybe my email may have gone to like a spam folder. I hope. And then I took a massive swing at a band last week, and we didn't get an absolute no. We didn't get an absolute no. We just
we didn't. So that's kind of cool. But
yeah, we just got a not right now because they got a lot going on, which I totally understand. But hey, it's just one of those things. It's like I tried once before and didn't get any response at all. So I tried again and we got a response, and we didn't get a no. We just got a not right now. So that's. No. I don't want to say who it is because I don't want to get anybody's hopes up because it's.
Well, yeah.
Because it's because like I say, it was just one of those things. Like why the hell not? It's been a while since I tried. So, but so I'd say it's a positive step forward. I would say so.
Yeah, I just got a notification that Metalheads Unite is live.
No way.
Right? That's what I said. I was like, I got to run over there real quick.
So. No way. Fuck's sake.
Before we get started into all the happenings and everything, you just want to say we got an announcement, I guess, on Chris's side. I don't know if he wanted to talk about that or not, but
I mean,
you guys got a new addition.
I was gonna actually say that for birthdays because it's literally. That's
true. I guess.
It was literally a birthday, but yeah, my brother and his wife 3 days ago on Wednesday welcomed their second baby girl to the family, Madeline Sue. She's a little teeny tiny thing right now. Of course, with my brother, she's not going to be teeny tiny for long.
No. So, they're going to be in WNBA at some point.
Probably yeah. Yeah, they're
if it's still around, then
Well, that's true too. That's true too. But yep. So yeah, brand new baby girl. So I have a new niece, and I mean, hell, guess while we're at it, I'll say happy birthday to my sister and to my stepson. They were the October 22nd. My sister, my stepson, and now my new niece, all born on the same day. So
oh wow, that's crazy.
October 22nd, all three of them.
Man. That's pretty well. Well, I mean, they can never forget the others' birthdays. I guess.
I know, yeah. And the funny thing about that, even on top of that, one of Angela's nephews is also born on the 22nd. So,
oh wow,
craziness!
Busy day in the family.
Yeah.
So you just got to back up 10 months and all right, you mark that as conception date on the calendar.
Right? Yeah.
Tarango conception date.
Yeah, no, not well. Not this one, but yeah.
Oh, sorry, Toronto.
No, that's fine. Like I said, it doesn't bother me, dude. It doesn't bother me at all. But.
Well, like I said, it always messes me up because I do it right most of the time. It's just You know, I get corrected. You know, so you know,
Right. Yeah.
I get incorrectly corrected. So, uh, yeah,
You're right about that.
we were we were on kind of fill everybody. We were on our way to one of I think it was the pre-show, wasn't it? I think it was.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, and
It
I
was.
I had been telling Chris about this for a while, where I would tell Google, hey, if I think of something while I'm driving, I'll use the voice thing and say, hey, text Toronjo, and it's okay. What's the message? And I'll say whatever. And are you ready to send it? And I'll say yes. And then it said, and then it'll say message sent to Taringo. I'm like,
Yeah.
what the fuck? That is not what I said. Like, it's like, you're supposed to be repeating what I say, not
Yeah.
just making shit up as you go. So,
Yeah.
but I thought that was
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah.
To him whenever we were on the west side. Hey, watch this,
Yeah. He showed it. Yeah. He showed it
He
to
was
me.
just like, wow, that's crazy.
Well, what's funny is like, that the last car that Angela had, that Equinox that she had,
mm-hmm.
when we first got it, it was the first car that we had in our family that had that talk to text kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so, so like when we figured out how to use it, when she got that Equinox, she was like, send me a message with a bunch of swear words in it so the car will have to read it to me. So
Oh
that's
wow.
all I did. I sent her. I can't remember exactly what I said, but they had a bunch of swear words in it, and then I sent it to her and had the car read it. It was fucking hilarious.
Oh, I bet it was.
It
I
was
never
so
thought of I
funny.
never thought about this. That's but it was funny.
Yeah, it was. It was funny as hell. Have the car say all those swear words like that.
Mm. All right, I guess one more thing before we get in here. I was we had talked about this on the show a while back, and then I happened to be in Hobby Lobby, and I picked this up, and I seen it. And I said I had to have it because we were talking about it on the show. But look at it.
Oh shit! Look at that.
Yeah, yeah,
Nice.
yeah. So I was like,
Okay,
oh yeah. I said I got to grab that.
I tell you what. I've been holding on to this. I haven't even told you that I have this. I'm pretty sure I haven't even told you that I have this because I was going to save it for an official show and tell. So give me just a second to grab this.
Yeah,
I
yeah. Go
have it
ahead.
here. I have it here in the room. It's on the other side of the room. I got
I
it.
got you.
Give me just a second. Hold on.
Right. Yeah. All right. Well, it's a kind of an impromptu show and tell day, so we did not coordinate this, obviously, or he would have had that right there next to him. But I was actually going to show it last week, and I forgot that it was sitting over here by the other computer here, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I forgot to do the headbangers ball bus." But
Okay, you can hear me, right?
yeah,
Okay. All right. All right. So a little bit of a backstory on this. Now, Jason, you know that I was working at GM for a little while.
mm-hmm.
Well, one night I was working on one of the teams in the back corner of the building, and I struck up a conversation with this guy because there was one night where he had a heavy metal shirt on, and it's one of those things where you don't want to make assumptions or anything, and I didn't have time to go over and talk to him. So then, like the next night rolls around, he's got a Slayer shirt on. I said, "Okay, this dude's got to be a metalhead."
Right.
So I walked over and I struck up a conversation. Turned out he's a huge metalhead, and a little bit of time goes by, and then one night, because like I was always moved around in the building, so I didn't always
Mm-hmm.
see this guy. So a little bit of time had gone by, a couple weeks maybe, and then I was back over on that side of the building, and we got to talking again. And one night he comes up to me, he goes, "Hey man, do you?" He's like, "Do you collect band merchandise?" I said, "When I can get my hands on some, sure." And he says, "I've got this thing that I bought for a buddy of mine." And he said, "I bought it at a show from the band," and I'll get to the band here in a minute. I'm building up to it. But he's like, "I went to a show one night up in Nashville to see this band, and a buddy of mine is a drummer. And I bought this thing for him to give to him, and then he moved away. And I don't think he's ever coming back, and I'm too lazy and too cheap to ship this thing to him. So would you want it?" I was like, "Sure, I'll take it." Come to find out, and the reason why I don't have my headphones on is because I'm going to stand up to show you this. And I did not know this is a drum. This is a bass drum pedal. I don't know if you can see this. Okay.
Oh, Vlad. Okay.
Vlad, from Ginger.
Oh no, that's cool as hell.
Yep. So hang on. And the funny thing is, he's like, yeah, I got this. He's like, I got this bass drum pedal from the dude from Ginger. I thought he was just gonna hand me this pedal.
Oh damn, he got the
This
whole
damn thing.
kit there. Uh,
Yeah, this damn thing.
that's crazy,
Yeah.
dude. Like
He's just
all
like,
the things that you would have nobody would ever suspect would be a drum pedal. That's kind of crazy.
so yeah. He just gave it to me. Didn't ask me if I wanted to buy it off him or nothing. He says, I got this thing, and he says it's in the back of my car, and I bought it for my buddy who's a drummer, and he moved away, and I don't think I'm ever going to see him again, and I'm not shipping this damn thing to him. He's like, do you want it? I was like, sure. And he hands me this big ass case. I was like, holy shit, dude. I was like, you serious? He's like, yeah. I was like, man, thank you. Funny thing was is that he handed by the time that we had first talked about it, and then like we ended up seeing each other again. The ironic part about it, he gave it to me on my birthday.
Oh, that is cool. Yeah, yeah.
So yeah. So yeah, I was waiting for you to be like, hey, you want to do a show and tell? Because I was gonna. So I don't. I was pretty sure I didn't even tell you that I had that until just now.
Yeah, I did not know. Yeah, I didn't know that you had that. So,
Yep.
but way to outdo me, man. I was just kind of nonchalantly trying. I actually meant to bring it up last week. What I was saying when you were gone. I meant to bring it up last week, and
Yeah.
it actually slipped my mind because we were deep into stuff, and I just
Yeah.
it just kind of like went. But by the time I noticed it, I was like, oh, it's too late in the show now. So
Yeah. But hell no, dude. That's a cool fucking Hot Wheels though. I mean, that's definitely one of those that you don't come across very
well,
often.
in all places, I would never thought would be in Hobby Lobby. For one thing, I was just kind of like,
Yeah.
I was just kind of like going through. We were looking for something in particular, and then we we got that. We got down the aisle, and I seen that, and I said, "Oh shit!" I said, "We were talking about this on the show," and I
Mm-hmm.
said, "And I haven't like come across one." So you would
Yep.
think, many times I've been in Walmart and stuff like that, I would see
Yeah.
one, but no. I mean, I don't ever go down that aisle in Walmart, but
Well, that's
I
true.
probably should, but I don't because
Mm.
it's kind of out of the way from everything else. But yeah, I actually was walking down. I said, "Oh shit!" I said, and I threw it straight in the buggy.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't care. I didn't care what it costed. So
Well,
I was like,
I hope you gently placed it in the buggy. That way, you didn't like bend up the
"Oh
car.
no, you know me better than that." So,
That's all I'm saying.
you know how I am with packaging and
I was
stuff.
like,
So
oh, you set it
I'm
gently. You set it. You put the little thing. Put the plastic thing down that you sit the kid on, and you place
yeah, right,
it
yeah,
gently down on the plastic so it doesn't get bend up the cardboard. Yeah,
yeah. I
yeah,
think
yeah.
I may have actually held it the whole time. I don't even
Yeah.
remember.
Yeah, Tina USA in the chat joining us on YouTube. Yes, we love Megadeth too.
Yeah, especially the newer stuff, man.
Yes, we do.
Shaping up to be some good stuff. I tell you. So,
Yeah.
and then Dana, what's up, Dana?
Dana,
Facebook. Good
what's
buddy over
happening?
there. So,
What's happening, Mon Frere?
yeah. Well, with that out of the way, I guess we can get started with the regular festivities here. So,
Yeah,
not
we
a whole lot of birthdays this week. So,
we do love the regular festivities, though.
the regular festivities.
We do. We are a fan of the regular festivities.
Well, we're a fan of everything, but
Yes, we are.
yeah. Let's see. All right, birthdays this week from the 19th through the 25th, and then like some of these were kind of left over from the 18th too, but I just included them on the 19th because I can't remember which day it was at this point. Because
So,
for
I got
some reason, like I hate the way that Facebook does things because they'll do things and say 5 days ago. I was like, okay, 5 days from what?
mm-hmm. Yeah,
From today or yesterday? I'm not sure what your time zone is there, buddy. So I don't know how to
yeah.
go back
That is
back and forth. It's
that
like,
is that really is one thing that kind of annoys the hell out of me about
yeah,
Facebook. I would love it if everything was just in chronological order. Just leave it.
yeah, just leave it
That would
alone.
be so
Yeah.
nice. I mean, you have billions upon billions of dollars. Figure out some sort of algorithm to keep everything in chronological order, man. Come on.
Mhm. Well, it's to get certain things onto your timeline that you know they feel like, oh well, you've liked this before, you might want to see this. Well, actually, I don't, but so,
Yeah.
because it's especially like nowadays, we know the political stance, of everybody. When we grew up, we didn't even know the political stance of our parents because they never talked about the shit. You know
Right.
what I
Yeah.
mean?
That
They
was
were just,
it used to
you
be.
know,
Yeah. It used to be shit you kept to yourself.
yeah, you voted for whoever, and then you went on about your business. And it's now everybody's in everybody else's damn business, and it's kind of like well, this guy's,
Mhm.
you got to blame smartphones and stuff like that for that because
Yeah.
people's always, something happens and, you know, people, and I've already been pretty much come to the conclusion that if we have a zombie apocalypse, everybody's going to die because they're going to come out and try to record it before they get bit. It's like,
Mhm.
oh, check this guy. Oh,
Yeah.
so it's like, Dave, can
Well,
y'all
like,
do
well,
anything
well,
without
like,
having your goddamn phone out? I don't get it, dude.
yeah. Well, like,
Jeez.
what was that thing that I think you posted? If there's ever a zombie apocalypse, there's going to be zombie rights.
Yeah,
It's
there'll be a zombie rights activist. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Morning, Aunt
It
Amy.
most definitely will. It most definitely will.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Morning,
it's
Aunt. Yeah. Morning, Aunt Amy. It's okay that you
yeah.
can't.
More than that.
It's okay that you can't stay. Thanks for coming
Yeah,
by.
yeah, yeah. Just
I mean, it is a little after 5 in the morning in Hawaii, so I get it.
Oh well, yeah. She probably hadn't had her coffee or nothing yet. So.
I wouldn't even be awake, so credit
uh,
credit to her. So
yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know. Would it still be dark? I guess over there at that time, or
5 o'clock in the morning, I'd probably, yeah,
I don't know. I don't know how. If you're
probably,
not, I'm one of those people. If I'm not there, I don't. You know, it's kind of
yeah.
like I tell people, when they have comments about certain things going on in the world, and I'm like, but were you there? If you weren't there, then shut the fuck up
Yeah,
because you don't know. You're basing everything on hearsay at that point. So, it's just like, I mean, it's like anything else. You'll hear stuff, you'll hear these stories, and we report on it a lot. You'll hear stories where some band members had a falling out, and then next thing you know, it's more deeper than they thought it was, and then it comes back and be like, no, it was all mutual, and so nobody knows what the fuck's going on because everybody's trying to put a story out before they get all the facts.
yeah.
It's kind of like, oh, I got to be the first one to put it out. Well, how about being the first one to put it out with the right information? How about doing that?
That would be
That's
ideal.
what we need. We don't need the bullshit going on that's going on.
Yeah, that would be ideal because I mean, there's been times where we've, like you say, we've done things and then had to come to find out, it's like, oh
Retract, yeah.
well, yeah. So, but see, that's the thing is like, that's what kind of sucks for us is because well, like we've said before, I mean, this isn't our job, so I mean, we don't have direct access to bands or anything
Right.
like that, so we can't like call and like we can't really like call up a band's representation or anything. You'd be like, hey, can we get some, can we get your opinion on this, or can we get your take on this, that, or the other thing, or can we get a perspective or whatever? We don't have that. So everything that we quote unquote report is we're just reading stories that have already been written, and we just got to basically decide on whether it's newsworthy or not. Because I mean, don't get me wrong, there's a bunch of shit that we don't read on here because I mean we're not
Right.
we're not just a news show. I mean, so we talk about a few things here and there, each of us, and
Mhm.
then we move on. So you know we kind of have
Well,
to we have to weed through everything and be like, yeah, this is important and this may
yeah.
be interesting. So
Well, that's the thing is like, could we spend 2 hours just reporting news and metal?
of course we
Absolutely,
could.
but
It'd be boring
yeah.
as hell, but yeah.
Oh, right, right. Because I mean, you're not changing up anything, and then we'd have to have a 4 hour show, in which we're not going to do that. So,
Yeah, our
yeah,
our wives
yeah.
would not be happy with us.
Yeah.
So
Dana posted a member of his Metal and Tat said the tickets for Iron Maiden and Megadeth were in LA were $685 for general admission. I'm like, wow,
I
that's
mean,
if that's true, that is just stupid
yeah,
ridiculous. That's,
I mean, at this point, look, I know, and we're getting a little ahead of ourselves because that's obviously something we were going to talk about is that tour announcement. But
well,
I
yeah,
mean, if that's, I mean, I understand that it's important. It's a big milestone. It's 50th anniversary of Iron Maiden and everything, and then they're going to have Megadeth with them and Anthrax at certain shows.
right.
It's a huge milestone. For Iron Maiden, it's Megadeth's farewell tour, and then you're adding Anthrax to a
Mhm.
few shows. I mean, that is a massive bill. That's one of those things where it's like you and I just sitting around talking like, who, we put Iron Maiden, Megadeth, and Anthrax on a bill. Yeah, that'd be cool if we could do that. And now it's actually happening. So I understand that it's a huge bill with huge bands with celebrating a couple major milestones. I get it, but I mean, at this point, I mean, for fuck's sake,
Okay.
$700 for GA. I mean, come on, man.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's a little bit ridiculous. And okay, I understand it's the last tour, like you said, but to price gouge the fans like that, that's going to
I
be.
mean, it's. I mean,
Yeah. Like I said, hopefully that's not true, but like I said, we and it could be the only thing available right now is certain tickets because I don't think they went on sale. I don't think they've actually went
I
on
don't know.
sale. It
I
should be.
don't.
It
I
could be.
don't know.
It could be like some pre-sale stuff going on. Maybe.
Maybe
Interesting.
685. It better be like pre-sale.
VIP or
Right
something.
up against the barricade VIP meet and greet. I mean,
Yeah,
for
that's
700 bucks a
crazy.
ticket, there better be something more included than just hey
Well,
the
I'll say
privilege of
this:
getting in the building.
if that's the case, I'm not even going to try to go see them because
No,
I
me
don't.
neither. And
It's sad because I would like to, but I'm not going to pay.
same.
I'm not paying that kind of money. I think the most I pay for a ticket, is the festival tickets. The
Hmm.
100 like 140 a piece or whatever. Uh, but you're there all day and you're not just seeing one band either. So I mean
Right.
that's kind of like that's kind of worth your money.
Yeah.
But I think like the most I've ever paid for like a single ticket may have been like 85 dollars or something maybe. So
Mm.
so
Well, I have paid more than that, but
and,
no
I mean,
nowhere near close to 700 bucks each.
no, maybe 100. No, let's see. Do we pay that for the Pantera Lemon Guide? Maybe it was 110 a piece for Pantera Lemon Guide. I think
But see, that's even
maybe
still not that bad, really.
yeah.
That's not
Yeah.
that bad.
Yeah, so it could have been a lot worse, I think. But
I mean,
I think
Iron.
I think a lot of it has to do with what venue you're in too. I don't,
I think it does, but
because I mean, we've looked at tours that have been here at Bridgestone, and then looking at the same tour in a different venue in like Alabama, it'd be like a $40-$50 difference. I'm just like,
mhm,
what the fuck,
yeah. I don't
quit
know. We
gouging
may,
me.
yeah, we may end up having to. We may end up having to go to Louder Than Life again next year because
Yeah, just to see, yeah.
they're headlining. Um, they're headlining Thursday, Iron Maiden. So
Yeah, they go on sale Halloween. Okay,
no.
makes sense. Cool.
So
All
yeah,
right.
we may have to make another trip to Kentucky.
I mean, if I have to pay $685 for something, that's what I'll do. I'm not gonna,
Hmm.
I'll just pay 150 and go up there.
Right. I tell you one thing. What we'll do next time, and I know that you and Susie did it. Is you guys got a room. But
Yeah.
if coming up, if we decide to go back to Louder Than Life in 2026, I'll be more prepared and I'll bring more money.
Well, what about money? We had a
It-
pull.
it-
There was a
yeah,
pull out bid there for you. So
yeah. So no, I know, but we'll be more prepared next year. But
all right, let's go with some birthdays and get this thing rolling here. From the 19th, October 19th, I have Joe Duplantier, guitarist and vocalist for Gojira, Pete Loeffler, guitarist and vocalist, songwriter for Chevelle, Henry Trollhorn Sorvali, guitarist and keyboardist for Moon Sorrow, Richard Fredrickson, drummer for Methane, then our good friend Joey Grimaldi, guitarist for Valkyrie's Fire. I couldn't remember if his was the 18th or 19th. I couldn't remember, but because I know like we're on the show so early, and then we'll see stuff when we get off, and I'm like, okay. So now I'm going back looking at it, going, okay, was it the 18th or 19th? So,
right, yeah.
but anyway, it's close enough into the that rim there, and I still don't know why his nickname isn't Grim. I don't know why. Joey Grimaldi. It's got they got to work on that. So
It should be Grin.
right, yeah, you're absolutely right. It should be.
He is.
Yeah.
I've said it before. That man is never not smiling. He is like
Well,
the.
he did in one picture.
That's right. They did get the one picture.
I thought that was
That's
hilarious.
right. But I mean, if you
Uh,
if you ever if you ever have a chance to go to one of their shows, which I highly recommend, by the way, or just like meet him, he is never not smiling.
yeah, he's
I've
always
never
happy.
I have never
He
not seen him
he
in person without a smile.
yeah. He actually told me when I talked to him at the show, that last show, I said, "Man, I don't think I've ever seen you not smile." He said, "Dude, I play guitar. If I'm not smiling and I'm a guitarist, I'm doing it wrong."
That's a great point.
I was like, "Hey, okay, I got
It's a
you."
great point.
So. October 20th, we had Fred Coury, drummer for Cinderella, Mitch Lucker, vocalist for Suicide Silence. Unfortunately, died in a motorcycle accident in 2012. Chris O'Brien, drummer for Blackwater Down. October 22nd, we have Bobby Blotzer, drummer for Rat, and then Dave McLean, drummer for Machine Head from 96 to 18, and then Sacred Right from 2018 until this week. But I
Yeah,
guess
yeah.
we'll talk about that probably a little more.
Yeah, yeah, we will.
Which was crazy when I was doing this. I said, "Wait a minute, why does that name sound familiar?" And I said, "Oh yeah, he was in the news this week."
That's right.
But that's kind of a odd birthday present to get, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
October 23rd, we had Wurzel, guitarist for Motorhead from 83 to 95. And unfortunately, he passed away in 2011. We had Robert Trujillo, bassist and songwriter. They got him listed as a songwriter. I don't know how true that is, but maybe they've been a little bit lenient these days. But they got Robert Trujillo, bassist and songwriter from Metallica. October 24th, we had I don't know, killed this probably. Marin Klusterman, bassist from Anger Machine, our good friends over there.
Yep.
Great interview, by the way, if you ever want to go check that out
Mm-hmm.
over on
Yeah.
Spotify. October 25th, we had Glenn Tipton, guitarist for Judas Priest. Matthias Jab. Is it Jabs or Yabs?
As far as I know, it's Jabs.
Okay, I always
As
wondered
far as I know.
that because especially like when we got into doing this, I'm just like I've been pronouncing people's names and I'm like, oh, and then they'll say, they'll correct us on the show or whatever, and I'm just like, oh, well, I'm sorry. So,
Right, yeah. I mean,
or hear somebody else say it, and I'm like, oh, have I been saying it wrong this whole time? Like, damn.
right, yeah.
Anyway, guitarist for the Scorpions there, and then last but not least, we had Alex Webster, bassist for Cannibal Corpse. So,
That's right.
that's the only ones I had. I don't know if I missed anybody there, but
No, not as far as I know. I mean,
okay.
the ones that I wrote down for the Metalhead Minute, you had all those, so we're good.
Okay, good deal.
And then, like I said earlier in the show, shout out to everybody in my family whose birthday was on Wednesday.
Yep, there you go. Yeah. So, that may be a longer list than what I just read.
It's close. It's close. Well, the funny thing is there were two other birthdays on the list you had that from Wednesday. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So,
Yeah.
All right, Dana. Appreciate you stopping by, man.
Dana, thanks, bud. All right, so we will move on to the current events, the metal news of the week, and unfortunately, we have to start out with a couple of items of bad news. This one was, pretty much everywhere, as you can imagine. Not on the level of Ozzy or Ace Frehley or anything like that. But hey, who's to argue with whose death is more important than the other? I mean, especially to the people.
It just depends on the fans. From a
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
From a fan's perspective, people
Absolutely.
that liked Ozzy may not have liked Kiss, and vice versa. So,
right? Yeah, absolutely.
That doesn't make it any less newsworthy for sure. So
no, not in the least. So we're gonna get. I'm gonna start off over at the PRP, and this is kind of an update from the actual first story, but it gave us more details. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna read the updated story. From over at the PRP from the 21st of October, new details have come in regarding last weekend's passing of Limp Bizkit bassist and co-founder Sam Rivers. TMZ reports that authorities in St. Johns County, Florida, responded to a call this past Saturday, October 18th, and the reason why we didn't bring it up on the 18th was it happened on the afternoon of the 18th, and we had already gone off the air for the day. So here we are trying to catch up. For a quote-unquote non-responsive person in cardiac arrest. While the St. Johns County Sheriff's Office has yet to determine a cause of death, the deputies noted that they responded to the situation as part of an quote-unquote attended death call. Generally, that means that a licensed healthcare professional has been in attendance and the individual who passed had been battling a serious or life-threatening illness, with death being an expected outcome in a matter of weeks or months. Given that Rivers was seen sporting a shirt with the phrase "fuck cancer" on tour, as prominently noted the below post shared by his Limp Bizkit bandmate DJ Lethal in the wake of Rivers' passing, there has been speculation among the group's fan community that Rivers could have been battling the disease. The band announced the death of the 48-year-old Rivers on October 18th, issuing this statement, hyperlink in the story. Limp Bizkit vocalist Fred Durst later shared an emotional video statement, hyperlink in the story, a day after Rivers' passing, reflecting on how integral Rivers was to the group. Rivers had previously been sidelined by health issues a number of years back, including a liver transplant brought on by his struggles with addiction. For now, it appears as though the new metal stars will continue on as a promoter for the band's planned November 29th live appearance at the Explanada del Estadio Banorte in Mexico City, Mexico, has issued the following statement on as of October 20th. Quote, "We deeply regret the passing of Sam Rivers, founding bassist of Limp Bizkit, whose talent and legacy mark generations and will continue to resonate in every note of his music. In such a significant moment for the band and its fans, Limp Bizkit has decided to continue with its performance on November 29th at the Explanada Estadio Azteca in Mexico City as part of its Gringo Poppy Tour 2025. That night, every riff and every scream of the crowd will resonate in honor of the great legacy Sam offered to new metal because his energy will never cease. See you soon." End quote. The previously announced dates for the Poppy Gringo Tour, which will feature Youngblood, 311, Eka Vondal, Riff Raff, and Slay Squad, include, and I'm not going to read them all. I'm not going to do that. But they will be November 29th in Mexico City, Mexico, leading up to December 20th in Sao Paulo, Brazil, at the Alliance Parque. So
Good deal.
they will still be going to Latin America.
I was trying to remember. I mean, if you hadn't listened to that video from Fred Durst, man, that pretty emotional stuff. I actually watched that video just to, it came up on my Instagram or whatever. I can't remember what I was on, but it came up over there, and I was just, passing through it, and all the mute, the sound and everything already comes on when you're passing through stuff. So,
Yeah.
and then you just, I don't know, for some reason the tone or whatever just stopped me, and I'm just like, I knew he passed away. I know it's probably heartbreaking for the band members, but for some reason it just stopped, and I just listened. And then like he told some stories about how they met and stuff, and it's crazy because without Sam Rivers, there probably wouldn't be a Limp Bizkit because Fred kind of like, hey, I got this idea, and nobody wanted to do it with him. Like he had the idea for Limp Bizkit, for a while,
Yeah.
and he was saying he had asked certain members of people that he knew, and they're like, nah, man, I don't, that's not my thing, and like he said, I had watched. I was trying to remember what band it was that he was in before Limp Bizkit, but anyway, whatever band it was, Fred Durst went out to watch them. And then when he came out, he said, "Man," and he said, "I didn't know, I knew Sam, but I didn't know him that well."
Mm-hmm.
And I was watching, and I was like, "Man, this dude's like perfect for what I want to do." So he kind of met him backstage or whatever, and said, "Hey, man, I this is kind of some things I've been talking about doing, and he gave him the layout of what he wanted to do, and Sam didn't even hesitate. He's like, "Yeah, let's do it." So it's kind of like, so I mean, without him doing that,
Yeah.
I mean, who knows where Limp Bizkit would be right now? Because I mean, as we know, there's a lot of bass line in Limp Bizkit songs.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So it's kind of wild to know those stories that you probably never heard, or and it's unfortunate that you don't get those stories before somebody passes, which is kind
Right.
of
Yeah.
you always hear like wild stories once somebody has passed away, and so unfortunate for Sam. That's kind of where we're at.
Yeah.
With I'm sure there's going to be a lot of stories come out about Sam,
Yeah.
in the recent weeks. But
Yeah. It's kind of like it's
still.
it's the painter effect. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You
Where
know what I mean?
everything's worth more when you pass away.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Like Elvis, even Elvis's estate and everything went skyrocketed when he passed. It's kind of like, but yeah. So speaking of stories, before I get into the news, I want to tell you everybody I watched the Nothing But a Good Time, the hair metal documentary.
Oh, for real?
Very interesting, man. Like, yeah, there was a lot of stuff in there I had never heard before.
Nice.
So it was pretty cool that you got to hear some of those things. You remember some falling out. The thing is, like when we listened to MTV News back in the day, it wasn't like it's kind of like what we do. It was kind of like a little short.
Yeah.
This is what happened, and no really details. You know what I mean? So this one kind of went into details with like CC DeVille and Bret Michaels fighting and shit like that, and people shit, I can't remember what the dude's name was now, but the guy from Wasp that passed away, and all that shit. So it's kind of like, man, you didn't realize how bad some of these people were off, and then it's cool to see some of the people in there, and I'm like, hey, we interviewed him at what you call it at the yeah Brian Forsyth in there, and
Yeah.
I was like, hey, we interviewed him, and Ricky Rattman, of course, was in it, so it was
still such a cool moment.
Yeah, it is. It's like something that can't be taken away from us. You know what I mean? It's like
No, cannot.
we'll always have that moment, man.
That's right.
And just sometimes you just gotta have the balls to go
Yeah.
say, "Hey, man," you know.
I mean, even though he was never in a band, dude, I mean, that's heavy metal royalty right there, man.
Well, yeah, because without him, we wouldn't know about a lot of the bands that,
Exactly.
you know, and he owned a bar in L.A. So I mean, he kind of had a lot of those guys go through the bar, so he
Mhm.
kind of helped invent some of these bands. So
He had his finger on the pulse, needless to say.
yeah, yeah, him and Timmy Down, so. All right, my first one is over from Metal Hammer, and this is so surprised because Chris doesn't know any of my stories either. Because so I realized this morning. I said, you know what? I've never sent him any of my stories.
And that's fine. That's fine.
I was like, wow. But I hate doing that because sometimes something may pop up and then you're like, okay, I wonder if he's got it because that way, you know what I mean? Because that way you know what I have, and
Right.
if something pops
Yeah.
up last minute, I don't catch. You don't really
That's
know if
true.
I caught her if I caught it or not. So
That's true.
that's
That's a good point.
well, that's usually why I like exchanging the stories at least, because I mean, everything else I don't care about because if there's duplicates in that stuff, it don't matter. But
Yeah.
we
Yeah, you
don't
got a
want to
point.
we don't want to
Hell,
have
we don't want to
five.
we don't want to bore you
If
guys.
I have five news stories and then you got four of them, then where am I? I got one
Right.
story, and then or I got two, you got three, and then there's
Right.
not really we get more news out the way we're doing it. So
It seems to work.
yeah.
It
So
seems to work.
anyway, it's kind of funny that we're talking about stories because it led up into my first story, which is cool. So Soulfly leader Max Cavalera has revealed that he and Deftones singer Chino Moreno once buried the master tapes of his band's debut album on Native American turf. In a new interview with AlternativeNation.net, Cavalera, who found fame as frontman of Sepultura before starting Soulfly in the late 90s, says that he and Moreno dug multiple holes in a former Native American burial ground before dropping the Soulfly tapes inside. The goal was to give the songs an indigenous power, as much of Cavalera's music draws influence from the indigenous music of his native Brazil. Quote, we buried the tapes in Indigo Ranch, Cavalera says, referring to the California studio where Soulfly recorded their debut. We knew there was a burial ground there, like an Indian burial ground from 300 years ago. So I wanted to capture the essence of the band, of the indigenous power. So me and Chino from the Deftones, we dug holes, put the tapes in there, we closed it, let it spend the night. The next day, dug them up. It was cool. It was kind of crazy, but fun at the same time. End quote. In the liner notes of CD copies of Soulfly, there's an image of Moreno holding a shovel, and Cavalera says that the picture was taken as the two men were burying the tapes. Quote, that's why in the album there's a picture of Chino with a shovel, and the shovel is from when we were digging the holes, he adds. That's why he has the shovel. People are still like, why is he holding a shovel in the picture? Well, that's why. We were digging holes in Indigo Ranch in the Malibu Hills, end quote. So there you go. There's a kind of a story that maybe a lot of us didn't. I never heard that before. So
No,
it's
I
kind of
hadn't either.
it's kind of a fun story there. But I'm kind of like, man, how did y'all get away with digging on an
I
Indian
was just think
paragraph?
I
It's
was
like,
yeah. I was just thinking the same things. Like, man, you're playing with fire trying to do something on Indian
right?
burial grounds. I
Yeah,
mean,
I could have very well turned the other way quick.
yeah, yeah.
So
But yeah, no, that is a cool story. But that's a little creepy.
yeah,
Yeah.
there we go.
All right. Moving on to Blabbermouth for my next one. Marcy Free, best known as the lead singer of King Cobra, Signal, and Unruly Child, has died at the age of 71. Marcy's death was confirmed by Unruly Child drummer Jay Shellen, who wrote on his Facebook page, quote, I just couldn't find the words last night when I heard the news that my loving friend and bandmate in Unruly Child, Marcy Free, has passed. This is heartbreaking. Bruce, Guy, Larry, all of which I hold dear as family, are shattered for the loss of our Marcy. We began UC together in 1992 and continued our friendship and music making throughout these years to this day. Marcy was a marvel to behold, a voice that had no limits and no equal, a truly singular talent and one of the most open and beautiful souls I've ever known. I'm gutted and can't say much more. To my bandmates, Bruce, Guy, Larry, I love you guys. I love you too, Marcy. You always were an angel. Now you have your wings. End quote. Free's former King Cobra bandmate, legendary drummer Carmen Appice, commented on the singer's passing, writing on social media, quote, I am so sad that my good friend Marcy/Mark Free passed away. What a great person with the greatest voice. We have been friends since 1982, and we were still friends to this day. I don't know how she passed. I talked to her just 2 to 3 weeks ago and she seemed okay. I am really sorry about her passing. The work she did as Mark Free with King Cobra was amazing. We are doing a new King Cobra song called Chances, an Air Supply song. I want to dedicate it to Marcy because we started King Cobra together and this is also part of her legacy. R.I.P. my good friend. I'm so sorry you're gone. End quote. Marcy, who was previously known as Mark Free, contributed lead vocals to the first two King Cobra albums, Ready to Strike and Thrill of a Lifetime, before leaving the band in 1986. Free later released two albums with the band Signal, Loud and Clear in 1989 and Signal Live in 2000, as well as two solo records, Long Way from Love as Mark Free in 1993 and Tormented as Marcy Free in 1996. According to Wikipedia, Free came out as a trans woman in November 1993. Free experienced gender dysphoria prior to her transition and changed her name to Marcy Michelle Free. Free stated that prior to her transition, she struggled with self-harm ideation and that transitioning was a, quote, decision between life and death, very rewarding, and if she would have continued her life as Mark, she would have died for sure, end quote. After Free came out as transgender, her career suffered and, quote, her whole musical world quickly fell apart, end quote. And she cited her post-transition career struggles as one reason for the temporary dissolution of Unruly Child. Free also stated that people in the music industry with whom she had prior connections shunned her after her transition. So it's unfortunate, but that happened. But you know, definitely a sad time for everybody who was associated with Mark/Marcy, however you want to look at it. I'm not trying to not trying to push anything on anyone. It's like all depends on your perspective. It's the passing that's the most important part here. That's that's what we're trying to talk about. Not trying to put anything into anyone's head one way or the other. So.
Well, not only that is we're to celebrate the music that
exactly
they created. Whether whatever they want to go by, that's up to them. But
right, yeah.
But, like I said, we're not. We're not here to judge anybody.
Nope.
We're just here to share the news. So,
right.
And like I said, we talked about this last week. We just share the news, man. Like, if it's about a pedophile, I'm sorry. I'm not. We're not trying to offend. It's just part of the news. It's about transgender. We're not really. Like I said, it's part of the news. We're just reporting.
Not taking a stance one way or the other. Not trying
So I guess that's what I'm trying to say is we do news the way it should be done. Like we don't agree with a lot of things that we talk about, but it's the news, and I think everybody has a right to know the truth and the news. So
exactly,
we don't. It's just like if we had to sit down with somebody, and that's one of the reasons why, if you ever notice, we do live interviews, because with live interviews, nothing gets cut out. I'm not going and editing anything. Only thing I'm going to edit out is after the fact. We let them go and say, hey, nice talking to you, and we'll edit out what me and Chris talk about afterward.
Mm-hmm.
But the whole interview is always on Spotify. We don't edit anything out. If there's a mishap in there, oh well. I mean, it's just kind of shit happens. It's kind of the way it is. And a lot of times the mishaps we have, I couldn't correct it anyway, even if I wanted to. So I mean, I guess I could. I could put replace it with like a still picture of all of us still on. But I know a few times I've showed like album covers and stuff and forgot to put everybody back on screen. So
yeah.
I mean,
but again, that's just one of those funny things that happens when you're having to scramble when you're doing shit live.
And what's so funny is a lot of times I don't even notice it till I go back and try to edit it. I'm like, what the fuck happened there? So I was like, oh well. I mean, it is what it is. So I don't know if actually it happened or if the download cracked or something. I don't know, but a few times I tried to download it more than once and it still was like that. So I'm just like, so whatever. So then I had to go back and look at it on YouTube and I was like, oh, hell, it did go out. Like, how did I not notice that while we were in the middle of an interview? But it's kind of,
we're focused on the guest is what it is.
Well, true. We're kind of, focused on trying to get, everything in and, that we want to get in. And
yep.
So anyway, my next one's still staying over with Metal Hammer. Slipknot have filed a lawsuit in the United States to try to seize control of the Slipknot.com domain name, which has been in the hands of an anonymous owner for more than 20 years. The metal giants have been using the domain name Slipknot1.com since the anonymous user registered the preferred Slipknot.com in 2001, 6 years after the band formed and 2 years after the release of their seismic self self-titled debut album. Now it seems that the band and their lawyers have had enough and want control of what they presumably believe is rightfully theirs. DNW reports that the lawsuit filed in the United States District Court for the Eastern District of Virginia, Alexandria Division, on October 15th. Damn, that's a mouthful. Lays
Yeah,
out the band's argument that the unknown people or person who owns the domain has used it to profit from the band's name. The suit alleges that the domain has displayed pay-per-click advertising links for concert tickets, Slipknot merchandise, and concert VIP packages. It also claims that one of the display ads linked to counterfeit merchandise. The lawsuit reads, quote, the domain was registered in an effort to profit off of plaintiff's goodwill and to trick unsuspecting visitors under the impression they are visiting a website owned, operated, or affiliated with the plaintiff, and to clicking on web searches and other sponsored links, end quote. So yeah, somebody might be in a little bit of trouble there,
yeah,
because especially if you're doing things like that with concert tickets and Slipknot merch, you're advertising stuff like that on that website. Yeah, you can't do that, dude.
mm-hmm.
You have no licensure to do that. So
Yeah,
even though you have the name Slipknot.com, doesn't mean you can sell Slipknot band
right.
merchandise.
You
So
know, what's funny is I saw that and I didn't read it. For some reason, I didn't read it. I don't. And even sitting here just now, I don't know why I didn't read that. But now that you read it, because when I first saw it, I was like, if that guy just bought the name, because that's the thing is if there's a domain that's not bought,
mhm.
like let's just say that you and I were sitting here right now, and we were fucking around and saw that Slipknot.com wasn't owned by anybody.
Right,
We could buy it. You and I could just buy it.
exactly.
So when I first saw it, I was like, well, if that guy was like if he bought Slipknot.com and is just sitting on it, then it is what it is, because he was just
Mhm.
it's first come first serve as far as domain names are concerned.
Mhm. Right.
So I mean, but now knowing what I know about the guy who bought it, yeah, I hope that guy loses his ass.
Yeah.
Because the funny thing is our X account, I wanted it to be Metalheads Unite, because obviously
Mhm.
that's who we are. And the funny thing is there is an X account called Metalheads Unite, but ours is spelled. I had to spell ours with a Z, Metalheads with a Z, Metalheads Unite, because there is a Metalheads Unite
Right.
X account that has been dormant for like 15 years.
Right. Which is
And
crazy
I'm
because
like, come on, man.
yeah.
So I mean, I was
I feel like a lot of times too that these like apps like X and Facebook and all that, I think they need to like have somebody review their stuff every once in a while and say,
yeah,
hey, what what's been active and what isn't, and then they
yeah,
need to send emails to these people saying, hey, your account hasn't been active. If you don't be active within a certain amount of time, we're going to delete your account.
yeah.
I mean, that's the way it should
So
be, because I mean, you're taking up room in their database
mhm.
for where somebody else could be doing a lot more stuff.
Yeah,
That is active. So
yeah. Now, don't get me wrong. I know people probably watch them and say, "Oh, the Twitter handle is different than a website," and I totally
right,
understand that. I get that. So and like I say, like email addresses and usernames, passwords, Twitter handles, Instagram handles,
well
whatever. I
that's
mean, it's
yeah.
all whoever gets there first, and I
Yeah.
understand that. But I
Yeah.
mean,
And
so
I'm sure that's why our email address is Metalheads Unite USA too. So
it is,
yeah,
so, but, so we kind of had to make do with what we had. And I tried to make everything the same all across all of our platforms the best I could,
mm-hmm.
to not to confuse, well, not to confuse anybody, but not to confuse us at the same time too.
Yeah,
But,
and
but yeah, this person who owns Slipknot.com, like I say, if they were just holding on to it to hold it ransom, we'd be like, well,
mm-hmm.
I'll give you the name, I'll give you the web address if you give me X amount of money. But
Right,
if this guy's doing this shady shit and like doing all this unauthorized merchandise and just being, a liar, basically, then yeah, I hope he
mm-hmm.
loses, and I hope he loses big.
Yeah, and honestly, that's what a lot of people do with domains. They go and buy them for $7-8, and then somebody comes along like, "Hey, I need this domain." And they're like, "Oh, hey, well, how bad you want it?"
Hmm.
It's kind of like if you're Slipknot, you probably get 10 grand out of it or something.
Yeah,
You never know. But as like I said, that's kind of what happens.
yeah,
And we've talked about this when I was in web developing. Some people's gotten rich off doing that.
yeah.
And even though they're only selling the thing off for maybe $30-40 at a time, but they're smart enough to go in and just buy random random like domains and stuff, and then some business comes along wanting to use it, and then
Yeah.
there you go. So, um,
Yeah,
but yeah,
and that's the thing is, I mean, you can buy because it's not just .coms, it's
well,
.com,
yeah, .net,
yeah, .net, .org,
and
court,
actually, and actually, our website domain that I bought is .rocks. So,
mm-hmm.
so
Yeah, so I mean, there are you could so there are there's Slipknot dot this that and the other thing, and then depending on I mean, there's also you can buy the foreign ones too if they're available.
right,
Because
exactly,
CA, RU, NL. So I mean, you can if they're available, you can buy the domains in other countries too. So I mean, it's not just I mean, .coms aren't the only thing around, and
exactly,
I'm sure I'm not telling anybody anything they don't already know. But so it's not just it's not just one website that web address that you can purchase. I mean, there's who knows how many of these things are out there. So
right. Yeah, never know.
yeah.
So,
But yeah, I hope that shady asshole loses. So
and a lot of times too, like people don't know. That's why our metalheads is all in one word, is because somebody had already had them separated. So I was just like,
mm-hmm.
well, we'll just be different and have it all one word. So, so,
Yep.
so
You do what you got to do.
yeah. Well, I mean, I did that because the craziest thing about one of the things on Facebook is the one Metalheads page, the Metalheads Unite. They have a Metalheads Unite on there to another page. And the crazy thing is there's 1,500 members on there and they don't even do anything. Like, I mean, even the people that run it don't post nothing. It's just like,
Yeah,
I
that's
think I
so
looked on
strange.
it last time I looked on it. Was in August. I think the last thing was posted was in like March or some shit, March or April. I'm just like,
Yeah.
dude, y'all aren't even active on here. Like, yeah, just quit taking up my traffic, you know?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. No, seriously. I mean, and I totally understand. I mean, sometimes, because I mean, everything kind of like
Mhm.
runs its course. I mean, all the, every popular show ends eventually. And, I mean, hell, who knows how long you and I are going to be able to do this? I mean, so, I mean, it doesn't have an indefinite, this thing doesn't have an indefinite shelf life on it either. But I mean,
Well, no,
but I
nothing you
mean,
do does.
if, so I mean, if and when we decide that we can't or don't, whatever, whenever this thing
Well, wait a minute.
comes to an end, and I'm just saying,
I don't think we'll ever not want to do it.
right. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. But I mean, if whatever
it,
the
it would have to be a health situation or
right, and that's what I'm saying. So I mean,
something like that. But
whatever ends up being the end of this show, we're not just gonna like. I mean, obviously we'll have to make plans or whatever. But we probably won't leave the social media open and everything because I mean, it's just if it's just dormant, like you said, it doesn't make sense to just keep it.
yeah, it does.
But that I don't foresee that happening anytime soon because we're having way too much fun doing it.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
so but anyway,
And we're going to live forever. So
yeah, here's hoping. All right, let's see. Where was I in the last one? Oh, I was at Blabbermouth. Yeah, I'm going to stay at Blabbermouth for this next one. And we already mentioned this person earlier in the show. Drummer Dave McClain has commented on his latest exit from Arizona thrash metal veteran Sacred Reich. On Tuesday, October 21st, McClain released the following message via his social media, quote, "Hey everyone, as I'm sure you've heard, I'm no longer with Sacred Reich. Since rejoining in 2018, we made great music and had fun times together. I've decided to move on and I wish them all the best in the future. If you've been at a Sacred Reich show over the last 6 years, it was my pleasure to perform for you and to meet a lot of you. I will still be 100% doing my thing, whether it's touring, recording, teaching, or just playing in my home studio. Hope to see you all out there in the world again. Now back to my drum room. Thanks, Dave," end quote. Replacing McClain for Sacred Reich's European shows in November with Hatebreed will be Eduardo Baldo, the Brazilian drummer who most recently played with the Los Angeles-based band Red Devil Vortex. When Sacred Reich announced McClain's departure on Monday, October 20th, the band wrote in a statement, quote, "Dave McClain is no longer a member of Sacred Reich. We wish him the best. Our friend Eduardo Baldo will be playing the Hatebreed shows with us in November in Europe. We thank him for jumping in on such short notice. We are excited for this new chapter in Sacred Reich history. We are finishing up our new record, Into the Abyss, that will be released in the spring of 2026 on Metal Blade Records. Great things are coming. We can't wait to share it with you." With love and gratitude, Wiley, Joey, and Phil. End quote. So just another bullet in the chamber that will be musical releases for
Yeah,
2026.
yeah,
So
yeah. Should be some good stuff too. So,
yeah.
all right, my last one is over at Metal Injection. I think that's my last one. Yeah, that's my last one. October 15th, 2023, Metal War announced that they'd be re recording their 1984 album Sign of the Hammer for release sometime in 2024.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
here we are, almost November 2025 now, and if you haven't noticed, Manowar has not released Sign of the Hammer, whatever year edition it will be. So what the hell's going on? According to Manowar bassist Joey DeMeo on his website, they've already re-recorded and promptly thrown out Signal of the Hammer twice now. Mental Warriors, we just celebrated the anniversary of Signal of the Sign of the Hammer, an album that's meant the world to us and to you for over 40 years. Now, let me give you an update on the re-recording. We announced this project a while back, and many of you have been asking, where is it? Fair question. You deserve an honest answer, so here it is. Re-recording a beloved album is a massive responsibility for us. These songs are part of our lives. These hymns that have carried you through the toughest moments. We don't take that lightly. So here's what happened. We recorded everything, we listened, and we weren't satisfied. The sound wasn't there yet. It wasn't the crushing, earth-shaking power we demand from ourselves and that you deserve. So what did we do? We took apart our studios, tried new equipment configurations, we recorded again, but still not quite it. And then it was time to prep for the tour and hit the road. Could we have rushed it out? Sure, but that's not who we are. We never compromise, and we're not starting now. Rest assured, Sign of the Hammer re-recorded will be released, and new music too. And when it drops, it's going to sound meaner, heavier, and more powerful than anything we've done before. Thank you for your patience and loyalty. Stay tuned. End quote. Personally, I think if you re-recorded an entire classic album twice and you're not happy with the result, it may just be time to move on. So, doubly. So, considering the Manowar re-recordings, Battle Hymns. Let's see, MMXI 2010. That's what is that? That's 2011.
MMXI,
Is that 2011?
that's 2011.
Yeah, that's what I thought. In 2010, and Kings of Metal.
MMXI is 2011. Yeah,
Yeah,
MMXI is 2011.
yeah, and then Kings of Metal MMXI4, which is 2014 and 2014. Didn't exactly go over well, but whatever makes y'all happy, I guess. So that was kind of a personal, opinionated part from the article writer there at the Metal Ingestion. I mean, and he's entitled to that opinion, but I'm kind of with him though. If you've done it twice and you're not happy with
Sure.
it, I mean, maybe just do some kind of. I mean, you want to give the fans something though. So at this point, maybe
Mm-hmm.
get some bands that are fans of Manowar and just do a cover album or something of that. That would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Something different. I mean, but yeah, definitely you need to get it going and do something because
Yeah. I mean,
I'm sure people the natives are getting restless, man.
yeah. Yeah. And
It sounds like anyway.
yeah. And speaking of which, because you just mentioned cover albums,
Mm-hmm.
I posted this in the Facebook group last night.
Yeah.
Did you get a chance to check out that?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh my Lord! What did you think of that?
Oh, that was good, man.
Holy
Really good.
shit! I thought that was. If you guys haven't seen, Testament's seen or heard, it's actually it's not technically a music video,
Right.
but Testament covered Metallica's "Seek and Destroy." Holy shit, man! God, they did such a good job.
And we've been pretty. I'm gonna try to say pretty opinionated on some of Metallica covers.
Mm-hmm.
So there are a lot of them we don't like. So to say
Yeah,
that, it's kind of like, oh wow. Um,
this one.
I think another thing that makes me mad is like I kind of failed myself because we were in the car a while back and "Am I Evil" came on, and my wife was just like, "Wow, that don't sound like Metallica." I said, "That's because it's not. It's Diamond Head." She's like, "Oh, well, that sounds much better than Metallica's." I said, "Well, it should. They're the original singer of the fucking songs." Like, she was just like, "What?" I was like, "Yeah, Metallica covered that song, honey.
Yep.
It's not. It wasn't theirs." she's like, oh, I thought Metallica did it this whole time. I'm like, I see. Yeah. So yeah, so it's all about a matter of diving deep into stuff you love. You
Yep.
know, a lot of people just want to put on music and just listen and go on about their business. That's
Yeah.
fine. But
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I'm a kind of person where I'll hear something or I'll pick stuff out sometimes. Even before we ever started the show, I used to do that and be like, oh, I like this. This is badass. And then I go out and buy an album. Of course, I've been burned a few times doing that.
Mm-hmm.
And then wind up only 2 songs on there worth of shit.
Yep.
The stage, but
Yeah. Well, the funny thing is
uh,
that shit used to happen to me a lot back in the Columbia House days, because
oh
I
yeah,
had the Columbia House catalog and shit, and I would buy albums from Columbia House just based off of singles, and sometimes it worked out, sometimes it
yeah.
didn't.
Yeah. I mean, I've never bought anything from Columbia House. I don't know what you're talking
Yeah.
about. That's what
Well, don't
everybody
give me
says.
don't give me
That's what everybody says. Oh, money.
yeah, don't get me wrong. I probably owe Columbia House some money too, but I did
Uh,
spend money at Columbia House, but
well,
I can't say my balance is paid up, but
people don't realize a lot of that was a ripoff anyway, because you got all that stuff for pennies on a dollar at first, but then they want you to buy their full the full price stuff for you know almost a full price and a half, so you're
yeah.
paying like $24 for a CD. Like, what the fuck,
Yep.
like I go to a sound shop and get that shit for $8. What the hell,
Yeah.
man?
Yeah. And that was in the 90s.
Yeah, right, yeah. So
Yeah,
I
that was in the
mean, back
90s.
then, man, $8 or $10 for a CD was crazy. It was
Yeah.
like, damn, I can't afford $10 for no CD.
Hmm.
It's like,
Yeah.
yeah. Nowadays, it was like, wish they wish a lot of them were
Yeah.
$10.
Yeah.
Uh, I seen
It,
one
it
the other
was a
day. It was
it
like,
was
like
a it was a
99.
different
I'm like,
time.
damn. Yeah, I seen
Yeah.
somebody's new one the other day on Amazon. It was like $19.99. I was like, damn. That's,
Mm-mm.
that's crazy,
No.
dude. Like, and the bad thing is, you go to the band's website and it's usually cheaper.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So, you know, even if you pay for shipping or whatever, it's still cheaper. So
Yep. Oh
a
yeah.
lot of times on those things, there's free shipping though from the website. So
Yeah.
for the most part,
Yeah.
so. All right, was that all
All
your
right.
stories?
I've got one more,
Okay,
and
okay.
I've got one more. Heading back over to the PRP for my last one here. Oh, excuse me. Trivium have hired on yet another drummer, Alex Rudinger, not to play in addition to. They're not going to have more than one drummer. Uh, Word of Rudinger getting behind the kit follows the one-show performance Trivium had with Sepultura's Grayson Nekrutman on drums
Mhm.
earlier this month. Nekrutman was brought in to fill in for Alex Bent, whom Trivium parted ways with several weeks ago. While Trivium indicated in this statement, hyperlink in the story, that Nekrutman would be handling the percussion for them on their impending fall tour with Ginger and Harriott, that has proven not to be the case. In a new statement issued today, October 24th, which is obviously yesterday, Trivium revealed their change of plans while also confirming Rudinger will be involved in their next studio album. Quote, "Hi everyone, as we prepare to hit the road next week for our North American tour, we wanted to explain where we are with our drummer. We want to sincerely thank Grayson Nekrutman for stepping in and crushing it with us at Aftershock Festival. It was an honor to share the stage with such a powerhouse talent, and we're grateful to both Grayson and Sepultura for making it possible. As we look ahead to our North American tour with Ginger and Harriott and into a new album cycle, the realities of scheduling made it clear that Grayson wouldn't be able to continue with us for the tour. There's nothing but respect between us. Grayson is a humble, confident, and passionate musician and will always be fans. That said, we're excited to share that we've reconnected with a drummer we've known for over a decade, Alex Rudinger, formerly of Whitechapel. Fun fact, we asked Alex to join Trivium 9 years ago, but the timing didn't align. Alex Rudinger will join us on tour starting next week and will be part of our writing sessions for the next Trivium record. We're thrilled to finally share the stage with him and explore what's ahead. See you on the road, Trivium." Rudinger has been a member of numerous bands over the years, including Whitechapel, The Faceless, Conquering Dystopia, and many more. Counting the Krutman, he is the seventh drummer to take up arms with Trivium, ensuring that they still have a ways to go yet before surpassing Spinal Tap.
Oh, Jesus Christ. That's
Yeah,
funny.
I love how they threw that last part in there. So, but
It's
so
almost
yeah,
like that.
it's a revolving door behind the kit. But they keep getting quality drummers though. You can't argue with that.
Yeah, it's almost like that with that band that we interviewed, and they had their thing in their Spotify account says we changed members more than Megadeth.
Oh God, yeah, who was that?
I
Oh
thought that
shit.
was funny.
Yeah, we talked about that.
Yeah, not long ago.
Actually,
Yeah,
God, we talked about that not too long ago and still couldn't remember who the hell that was.
yeah. I'd have to go back and look, but
Yeah, but no, that's and I love that shit too when a band does that to themselves.
oh yeah,
It's awesome that they'll self deprecate. I love that shit. If you can't laugh at yourself, man, come on.
that's right. Yeah. How can you laugh tomorrow if you can't even smile
Mm-hmm.
today, man?
That's right.
Uh, Actually, speaking of that, I seen a costume where this guy was dressed up like Mike Muir from Suicidal Tendencies, and his wife was dressed up like a Pepsi can.
There you go. There you
I
go.
was like, I never thought about that. Like,
There
what
you
the
go.
That's
That's a
pretty
good
cool.
one. That's a good one.
So, other headlines to wrap this up: Parkway Drive's Wisdom McCall drops out of a helicopter onto the Sydney Opera House in Australia, all to hint a new live record coming. Talk about commitment
Yeah,
to an album announcement,
I
man.
say
Uh, the new Japanese prime minister appeared on Baby Metal's podcast and talked about her love for metal. That's pretty cool. Like,
that is cool.
there's been a lot. There's a lot more people getting involved in politics that are metalheads, which is cool. Um, Kelly Osbourne thanks fans after accepting an award for her father Ozzy Osbourne. The late Prince of Darkness was given a Lifetime Achievement Award at the Birmingham Awards last week, so very well deserved as
Oh,
well.
yeah.
I always hate that these things get done when they pass away, though. Like,
Right.
this guy gave 60 years of his life to metal, and it should have been done 10 years ago, in my opinion. So.
Mm-hmm. And he was and Ozzy was always proud of the fact that he was from Birmingham.
Oh
He
yeah,
was
yeah.
always proud of the fact that he was from Birmingham.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it should be. You should be
Yeah.
proud. Like, to me, if you're not proud of where you came from, then you should just I mean, I'm not. I wouldn't say proud of where, but I'm proud of my heritage. I
Right.
guess you're proud of some part of
Mm-hmm.
yourself. Then that says a lot about
Yeah.
who you are as a person. For one,
Yep.
if you just it's like some people I think just come out the womb pissed off. It's like,
It's true.
like you crying, just stop. Don't stop fucking crying. Like you
Mm-hmm.
30 years later, you still crying.
Yeah.
Like but yeah,
It's true.
it's definitely cool to be. Nothing wrong with being proud of where you came from and your heritage. That's
Mm-mm.
for sure. So.
Nope. Not at all.
At the Gates urged fans to donate to Swedish cancer charity following the death of frontman Thomas Lindberg, which is cool that
Mm-hmm.
got that going. Like I said, man, it's bad when somebody passes, but something good usually comes from it. Whether it be a charity open up, or maybe something that he did in his life saved somebody else.
Yeah.
That's always the hope. For Spirit Box launches interactive map to highlight local businesses at every stop of their upcoming tour, which is pretty cool. So
No, that is neat.
so they're gonna give back to local businesses on
Yeah.
the tour stops, which is cool. I think everybody should do that. I think
Yeah.
instead of going to Waffle House or something like that,
Yeah.
you should find a little diner, local diner that's open
Yeah.
24 hours. There's a lot of those around still, and I did not know
Yeah.
that. So
And Angela and
we
I
were
always try to do that when we go somewhere. Always try
yeah.
to eat at a place that we can only find it wherever we are.
Mm-hmm. And there's one downtown Nashville. There's a diner open down there 24/7. Because we were doing meetings there when we were working from home.
Mm-hmm.
They was like, hey, if you want to meet up, just get out of the house. We'll meet up here once a week and blah 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 blah. I'm like, all right, cool. But yeah, I didn't know they was even there until then.
Yeah.
And then we were out in Arizona. There was a couple out that way too,
Mm-hmm.
where they had like 24/7 diners open out there. I'm like, oh wow, this is
Yeah.
it's pretty neat.
I
So
do.
I'm sure they're out there. You just got to, like
Yeah.
you said, you got to have a map to highlight all that stuff if
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
gonna go out. So.
I like I like stopping at one of the hole in the wall, greasy spoon kind of
Oh, that's
places
usually
every
the
now
best
and then.
ones, man. It's usually
Yeah.
the best places to go. So.
Well, it's like that. It's like that burger place that you took me to in Murfreesboro that night that we went to go see Ash's Rain at the Laundry Room. You know that place over there off Murfreesboro Road.
Buster's.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'd never been there before.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
I'd never
great.
been there.
If you're in Murfreesboro, Tennessee,
Yeah,
Buster's Burgers, man.
yeah. Oh
Well, it's not
man.
really a burger. I mean, they got everything. They got some other stuff, but they're more famous
Yeah,
for their
they
burgers.
have a damn good. They have a damn
Yeah.
good cheeseburger. They
Yeah.
absolutely do. But
And if you ever catch them on barbecue ribs, oh man, dude, I never had ribs fall off the bone like that, dude. It's so crazy, man. So
yeah,
good. he starts that shit like I think he says he uh, smokes that shit for like 14 hours or something.
Good Lord.
Oh, it's so good, dude. So good.
Yeah.
Uh, anyway, you talked about Trivium's new drummer for the
Yep.
tour. Fear Factory's hunting for someone to mix their upcoming album. So anybody know how to mix something? Let's go. Let's go. We gotta get this
It's
Fear Factory
amazing that
album.
it's kind of amazing that Dino doesn't know somebody
Know somebody, yeah.
that he trusts to mix it. That's kind of surprising to hear.
Wow. Uh, I know the dude from Ice Nine Kills does that on the side. Like he'll mix other people's
Mm.
records. I can't remember which one it is. The guitarist, maybe. I can't remember. Uh, anyway, Mastodon's next album will include guitar work by Nick Johnston. So
Yep.
I guess that's something they're already working on, evidently, or they wouldn't
I
be talking
think
about it.
so. Yeah.
6 Feet Under's next album is done. Mixing to start pretty soon. Hopefully, you find a mixer. I mean, just saying.
Yeah.
Then we talked about this. Testament drops the cover of Metallica Seek and Destroy. I put that in there because I know you wanted to talk about that. So,
Yeah.
and Slipknot Sid Wilson launches new record label Vomit Face. I didn't really look to see if he actually had any bands on there yet or whatever, but I'm sure he does, or he wouldn't have launched the record label. But,
Well, I mean, if he like just launched it, I'm sure it probably won't take long until he gets,
oh yeah, because
until he gets a roster built. So,
he's got a name behind it.
oh
So
yeah.
that looks like that sounds like something you do when you're looking to get out of performing.
I mean, or maybe he's just trying to, do what Wu Tang suggested and diversifying his portfolio.
Diversifies portfolio, yeah.
That's right.
Well, that's the thing is like a lot of people don't know are probably there's some bands that do that. I mean, I hate to say, but Nickelback's one of the bands that first come to mind. Like, I didn't know for a long time they have their own record label, and a lot of bands in the '90s were on their label, so they were making some money. They were making money off other bands as well as
Hmm.
their sales. So, Nine Point has their own label, which they
Yep.
don't do anything but their own stuff. I don't think they kind of do anybody else's stuff, but yeah, I mean
Well, I mean,
a lot of bands.
it's there if they decide to do that. So they've already
Well,
got it
exactly.
established, which
Yeah.
is a good thing.
If they want to do it, they can do
Right.
it.
Yeah.
And then last but not least, 2 more arrests were made in the stabbing death of ex Lost Prophets singer. So this is my question with that. It's like it said 2 more arrests were made. I'm like, weren't they already in jail? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I'm like, how are you arresting? I mean, I guess you have to go through the process to
Yeah.
charge them with it. I guess, but
Yeah.
I'm just like, man, it's kind of misleading with headlines.
Right.
It's,
Yeah. It is
I
kind of
read that 3 times. I'm just like, that don't make no damn sense. They were already in jail. Like,
right. Yep. So I mean, but in all seriousness, now that's like 4 people that have been,
well,
taken back into custody in connection to that.
well,
So
and that goes back to what we were saying, man. When you do shit like that, man, prisoners don't like that shit, dude. Like
nope.
fucking with kids and shit like that's what I mean. You know, to me, it's kind of like I guarantee you, there was 4 people in the shower ready to do that shit, and 30 other people were like, "Hey man, what's going on over there?"
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Did you see anything? I didn't see nothing. I turned
That's a
around.
shit. Yeah.
Dude was on the floor bleeding. I don't know what the
Yeah. I
fuck
had
happened.
I had soap in my eyes. I was washing my hair and soap in my eyes. The next thing I know, he's like laying there. I'm like, oh man, that's crazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, you kind of like,
I
I
mean,
don't see. So, for one, I don't see why people do that shit because it's gross anyway.
no, of course.
But second of all, I don't see why people do it because of that. Because you're going to fucking die when you go to jail. You're not going to live long. Like you're going to get
No.
the death penalty from the inmates. They're not giving
Oh
two
yeah.
fucks. They're
Oh
not
yeah.
giving 2 fucks.
Oh yeah.
We talked about this before on the show where a guy killed somebody in jail, and he was already on death row. He didn't give a fuck. He's like, I'm
Oh yeah, he was. Yeah, that guy. That was that
dying
dude.
anyway.
Yeah, that dude in Detroit I was telling you about. He was
Yeah,
already. Yeah, he was already doing life. He's like, oh yeah, I absolutely killed that guy. Oh,
yeah, I did it.
oh,
Yeah,
totally,
what you
absolutely.
gonna do? What you gonna do? Give me another license? Fuck.
Right, he's like, yep, I did that.
Uh, but that is all the headlines of the week. There. I don't know if you wanted to add
That was
anything to that
pretty,
before we.
pretty solid week. Oh,
Ah,
Before I forget, because I probably should have done this at the beginning of the show, but last Saturday night went to Nashville to see
oh yeah,
to
yeah,
see Mudvayne and Static X and Vended. It was the 25th anniversary of LD50, and it was the de facto 25th 25th anniversary celebration of Wisconsin Death Trip, even though it came out in 1999. But with everything that has gone on with Wayne and everything, and
Right.
with and I hope I'm not spoiling this for anybody. And with Edsel Dope covering for Wayne Static, performing as Zero. Um, if that's something you didn't know by now, I that Edsel Dope is actually the one behind the mask. That's kind of on you. I figure at this point.
Yeah, at this point,
Yeah,
yeah.
if you don't, yeah, if
I
you,
think we've been doing that for 3 or 4 years now.
so
So
if I just ruin that for you, that kind of actually says more about you, I think. But anyway, but yeah, we were at Municipal Auditorium for the show. Vended did very, very well. Uh, you know, Corey's kid, I mean,
right.
he's a chip off the old block.
Yeah, he is.
He sounds just like him, but the funny thing is doesn't sing like him all the time. So he kind
Right.
of, he's kind of taking advantage of the fact a little bit that he is Corey Taylor's son, but he's carving out a name for himself, and I do appreciate that. Corey and Sean's sons are both in the band, you know,
Mhm.
but they played really well. The music was awesome. Guitar player is absolutely insane. I don't know everybody's name in the band. They're still
Right.
relatively new to me, so I apologize for that. But but I was impressed with their set. They did a great job. High energy, high talent. I could see them. I could see them going far. Just I could see them going far, and yeah, probably a little bit due to who they are, but they also are putting out quality music. So I think they can carve out
Mhm.
a niche for themselves based on the product. And I think sure, the name recognition thing isn't going to hurt, but the product that they put out is
Well,
ultimately what's going to get people into venues, and that's what's going to really make or break them. Obviously, is ticket sales and people
mhm.
showing up.
Well, I look at that too, is because you hear people go, "Well, man, I like the old Slipknot sound," and blah 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 blah. So, okay, well, have you heard Vended? No, I ain't heard of those guys. Well, I mean, if you want like the old Slipknot, then there you
Hmm.
go. It's like,
Yeah.
it's and actually, I think Vended may be a little heavier than Slipknot was back then. So,
Yeah, I mean, arguments could be made for that, but I mean, they also, to me, Vended doesn't really sound like early Slipknot, which is a good thing.
no, I'm not saying that.
Yeah,
I'm just saying that I think they're a lot heavier than them
yeah. So
back
right,
then.
so that's what
So,
I'm saying. It's like they're not trying to, Vended is not
right.
trying to, even though Gunner does sound like Corey, he's not trying to just be Slipknot 2.0 or Slipknot version 2, whatever. He's not
Mhm.
trying to do that, and
And,
to
and
me, they're succeeding with that.
And I don't know if you remember, we had that whole conversation where people were bashing Corey for taking them out on the road with him. So, oh, well, you shouldn't be doing that, blah, blah. There's other bands that I'm like, yeah, but they are a young band. Like, and then how better to get introduced to the world than be on tour with Slipknot? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like,
Yeah.
and I guarantee at the time, a lot of people didn't even know they were kin to each other at that point,
Yeah. And I mean,
because
and I
that was
mean,
like on their first record. So,
yeah. And I mean, and as a parent, who wouldn't do that?
right. You want your kid to succeed. So I mean,
Yeah. So
and
who
you have
wouldn't do that?
so the thing is like you do one or two things doing that. I think you take them out on the road, you show them what it's like. They either like, all right, this is more than I expected, or two, they're like, hell yeah, this is a fucking blast.
Yeah.
One way or the other, you teach them. It's a teachable moment. So
Yeah.
but and as a father, I would rather my son be on tour with me than some other band I don't necessarily know.
hmm
So I mean,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah. I mean, and especially for their first tour, that way
right? Yeah.
you're able to kind of mentor and monitor and be like, all right, this is
Mhm.
what I went through when this happened and I reacted this
Mhm.
way. And so, so it's not like, it's not like Vended is only going to tour with Slipknot, because that's not the case.
Right.
I mean, they were the opener for this show, and I think they acquitted themselves very, very well. And I would very much like to see them again. Um, Static X was the direct support act, and it's been a long time since I've seen Static X, and obviously haven't seen them since Wayne passed away. Of course, that was in
Mhm.
2014, so I mean that's 11 years ago at this point. But I was totally blown away with the job that
Oh yeah.
Edsel Dope did And I texted you this at the show.
Yeah.
I texted you while I was at the show. But I mean, to say that Edsel Dope did Wayne Static's legacy justice is a gross understatement.
Hmm.
If it wasn't, I mean, I'm not sitting here saying that you couldn't tell that it wasn't Wayne, but as far as somebody trying to do a tribute to somebody's legacy, I
Keep the flame alive. He didn't.
yeah, I mean his performance was outstanding. I mean, whatever superlative that you want to use, it would be accurate. Because I
Mhm.
mean, you got the other three guys in the band who, and don't get me wrong, Tony Campos was having a fucking blast. That
Oh
dude
yeah.
was he was
Yeah.
having a blast. But I mean,
I
Edsel
think I
Dope,
think you I think if you have that name, you're just uh, granted guitar powers
yeah, it must
uh,
be because I mean he was having
because if you don't know, that's the name also the name of Hellfire's guitarist.
yeah,
so,
yeah.
so
But I mean, they
he's
you
fucking
you
amazing
you
too.
could tell they were. I mean, they were all having fun. They
Yeah,
were they were kind of goofing around on stage and being silly
hell of
gold
a
and
light show too. If it's
the
anything like I've seen, so
I mean the actual presentation was awesome. I mean they had like guys come out. They had like a
mhm.
Frankenstein. They had a haunted pumpkin, and then they
we,
had the
we
the
give
guy.
y'all the, we give y'all the smoke filled bubbles.
Oh, of course, yeah. And I was
Yeah,
like, boop, 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 boop,
yeah,
boop. So yeah, so
yeah.
I was having fun with those, but I mean, it was a great time to see them, and
Mhm.
I like every song. And here's the thing: is like how you go to a concert like, oh, I wish they would have played this song and that.
Mhm.
Every song that I wanted them to play, they played
You played
every
it, yeah,
single song. They played every single song that I would have wanted them to play. I was like, that was a perfect set as far as I'm concerned. And
yeah,
so and then
yeah.
so I would almost I would almost say that they came close to stealing the show from Mudvayne.
Mhm.
But give me a second because I'm about to get to Mudvayne. But I mean, they did such a good job, and I'm glad that I went in general. But I'm glad I went. I'm glad I got to see them. And I will say this: as long as the other guys in the band want to do this with Edsel as Zero, and as long as Edsel is willing to do it, I would go see Static X in this format again in a heartbeat. I
Yeah,
absolutely would. I absolutely
yeah,
would.
yeah.
Now, Mudvayne came out, and they were the headliner, of course. And this is the second time I've seen Mudvayne in the span of 2 years because they were there at Municipal, as luck would have it,
Mhm.
um, when Megadeth came to town. And I will say this: Chad looked great. He looked like he's lost some weight. Um, he looked like he lost some weight. He looked like he was moving around a little better, and he sounded a lot better than he did than when we went to the Megadeth show. Because when they were opening up for Megadeth, he seemed like he was out of breath. I don't know if he was sick or whatever, or he was just moving around too much. But he was having a time when they were performing on the Megadeth tour. But when
Okay.
uh, last Saturday when they were headlining, he sounded a lot better. He looked great. He was able to hit the notes and hold the notes and everything, and he did a lot better. And it sucked that Greg wasn't able to be there on.
That's pretty cool.
It sucked that Greg wasn't able to attend the show. That would have been nice. But I mean, Ryan. I mean, just he is such an underrated bass player. I mean, everyone knows the Burt Burt Ding from Dig. Everybody knows that. But I mean, to watch him play the bass, I mean, it's ridiculous how good he is on that instrument. And they put on a great show, and I mean, I got no complaints. I got no
I think
complaints.
I
I
started.
did think it was strange that they opened with Dig. That was surprising. Of course,
Oh wow.
it was that they were celebrating LD50, but I didn't
Well,
expect
true.
I didn't expect them to start with Dig. But that was one hell of a way to start off.
I'm
So
trying to remember when I went. Was that last year or 2 years ago? I can't remember when I went and seen them. But it was Static X, Seven Dust, and Dope when I went. So
yeah,
uh, which is kind of dope and Static X being in the same place,
Yeah,
kind of,
yeah, makes sense.
happens a lot because, of course, you
Yeah,
got
because
Edsel Dope doing both. So
yeah, Edsel doing double duty, sure.
double dudes, yeah. So I don't know if you've seen that. I pop it up again, but Tim Beck over YouTube said I got false raped by Guar Slave on stage. Oh, to be young and dumb again, silly shit.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Hey man, if you got to be part of the show, that's that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. Like you got to be part of something that's a memory that you can't be,
Hmm.
they can't take away from you.
Oh,
So
that and hell, something like that is a core memory, no matter
oh
how no
hell
matter
yeah,
no matter how old you are. I mean, even if
yeah,
even if that was in your teens or your early 20s or whatever, I mean, that's something you're going to remember when you're like 70 years old.
right, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's one of those things that becomes ingrained.
I want to apologize to him too for the delay because the message was held for review on YouTube. I guess because of the rape
Yeah.
comment, but you said false rape. We know what you mean because we've seen a Guar show. So,
Yeah.
uh, so
What's speaking of Guar, what's funny to me is I guess it was maybe within the last couple weeks, the last month for sure, is people got pissy about Guar decapitating, President Trump and Elon Musk on stage, and it popped up, I think, on Facebook, and all the people in the comments were like, "Have you never even heard? Guar has decapitated every sitting president in their career. It doesn't matter. They've done it to every single president their entire career, Democrat, Republican. It doesn't matter. They're not on one side of the aisle or the other. They have done it to every single president, every single one, and probably some of them more than once, because some presidents, they sit more than one term, so they probably
right,
do it. They probably do
right,
it like once per term. So it's probably happened to Donald Trump more than once. It happened. I'm sure it happened to Obama more than once. I'm sure it happened to GW probably happened to him more than once.
oh yeah,
But every president that has been around and during Guar's career has been decapitated. So people saw that and they were all pissy about it. It's like, they've done that to every single president. Just do some fucking homework, man. Come on.
right. I mean that's kind of like like I said, that's the political world though. It's oh well, so and so's doing this. Okay, well, what and like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
y'all act like the
Yeah.
shit ain't been done before. Like that's what I'm saying. Like everybody's bitching about certain things. I'm not going to go into it, but if you open Facebook, somebody's bitching about something going on right now, and then if you've been around any length of time, say you're 50 plus years old, you can be like, well, yeah, because that's been done before. Like
Yeah.
why
It's
are y'all
not
not?
new. Yeah, it's not new.
Yeah, so it's the thing is like, I've actually posted this on a few pages that post stuff, and I'm just like, hey man, and it's usually like these influencer people posting stupid shit, and I'm just like, dude, if you want to be taken seriously, take time to do research and put out the truth about the story instead of what you want to take from it.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where we was at from the beginning of the show, talking about the news on here. We just fucking report it. We don't have to like it, you know. It is what it is. But people need to come to understanding that when you jump the gun and you start posting stuff, you don't have the full information. Then you eventually look like a fucking idiot. And
Hmm.
then for one, like if I see somebody on there that I know's done some stuff in the past and they pop up again, I try to block them. I don't even want to see it because I know it's
Right.
bullshit. I know it's
Right.
bullshit, and you're not going to change it because you think that's giving you all these clicks. Well, imagine how many you would get if you were actually honest.
Hmm. Yeah.
But
Well,
and
that's
it's just like I told y'all when we were at the Louder in Life festival, and I seen this plane. They were landing like right in behind the main stages, and I said, I could take a video right now. I told my wife this while we were there. I said, I can take a video, show that plane like as soon as it hits, and put an explosion there, and it'd probably blow up. Like people would, I'd probably get 1,000,000 hits because people would think that, oh man, that's crazy how that shit blew up into the stage or whatever,
yeah.
and then it wouldn't even be real. And it's like,
Well,
I
I
don't,
mean,
I don't get that. Like, why do you want? If you want to go watch fake shit, go to the fucking movies and watch that shit, man.
yeah.
Don't
Well, I mean,
don't give these people fucking gas for their fires and platforms, man. Fuck them.
yeah,
You know?
yeah. I can't stand influencers. I can't stand them.
Mm.
And
Well, and if you don't know,
it's
I posted this on Facebook. I said influencers, influence you to think a certain way. Well, I can think for myself. I don't need you. You
Yeah.
know.
Well, I mean, then
So,
that's how people really should be. But all these influencers and these clout chasers and all this bullshit, and
right.
it's the TMZ effect. It's all this everything's got to be
Yeah.
sensationalized and all this other shit, and then all the truth goes out the window.
Yeah. Yeah, and a lot of people like keep like saying, "Oh, well, we want this and we want that," and they don't realize a lot of that stuff's under investigation. Like they can't give you any information until that investigation is done.
Right.
So I mean, if they're still got people that are questioning or anything like that, they can't give you any information until that's done. So
Mm-hmm.
I always say, hey, be patient. Everything will come out at some point. Maybe it will, maybe it
Or it
won't.
won't. Or it won't. Yeah.
Yeah, or it won't come out at all. Who knows? But you know, some things probably happened that won't come out, and some things probably didn't happen that will come out.
Yeah.
That's the bad part. It's like some of the shit that didn't even happen is going to come out, and you're going to be like, well, fuck, that didn't even. Y'all can like. I know personally, we've seen video from January 6th, and it's kind of like everybody like argues and stuff about it. I laugh online because I'm just like, dude, if y'all only fucking knew what I seen, it's like, but I don't get into that because I don't know if they want that out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
From the person we seen it from. So,
Oh, shit.
but
I think my chair may have just broke.
oh shit!
Thank God I
All
didn't
right.
end up on the floor.
Well, like I said, that would have been a moment to.
Yeah, would have.
We may have had to make a reel from the weekly podcast if that happened. So.
Yeah. Damn,
TikTok video.
that would have pissed me off for about a second and a half, and then would have been fucking hilarious.
Yeah. As long as the bar don't go up your ass, you're all good, man.
That's
So,
true. Yeah.
all right, man. Let's get into hitting the road. I got a couple things here, then I'll let you have it there,
All
Chris.
right. That
The
sounds
main
good.
thing I want to talk about is we talk about Max Cavalera all the time. So
Yes,
to
we
think of,
do.
and we talk about how a workhorse he is. Well, guess what? Soulfly is going on tour with Go Ahead and Die, so he's even going to be more of a workhorse
Mm-hmm.
for the month of November anyway. That kicks off November 1st in Roswell, New Mexico at the Liberty. Well, he may not even he might get beamed up there. So,
He might.
and then it ends on 11/23 in Flagstaff, Arizona at the Monte Vista Hotel. So yeah, we talk about Max being just like a super musician or some shit because of the stuff he does is just unreal. But for him to go out and do that at his age, it's kind of, hey man, more power to you. So
Yeah.
to do because he's the lead singer for both bands. So
Yep.
and then we did have I'm gonna leave the rest of the other stuff to you, but we do have an announcement. The first festival announcement is out for 2026. Sick New World is back. We kind of touched on that last week, as we all expected it to be. Sick New World 2026 will take place, excuse me, at the Las Vegas Festival Fairgrounds. I got a tickle there. Las Vegas Festival Fairgrounds in Las Vegas, Nevada on April 25th, and then at the Texas Motor Speedway in Fort Worth, Texas on October 24th, which is crazy because that's a year away and they've already got the lineup done. It's like
Mm-hmm.
crazy. Both shows have different lineups. The Sick New World in Las Vegas will have System of a Down, Korn, Bring Me the Horizon, Danny Elfman, Ministry, AFI, Evanescence, Under Oath, Acid Bath, Cold Chamber, Poison the Well, Marilyn Manson, Not Loose, Terror, Clutch, Glassjaw, Static X, Seven Dust, Wage War, POD, The Melvins, Twin Tribes, Health, Cypress Hill, Carpenter, Brett, Kitty, Norma Jean, Orgy, Speed, uh, Taproot, Skin Lab, Blood Youth, Mastodon, Filter, Failure, Corrosion of Conformity, Eight, Calicus, Lords of Acid. I ain't heard that name in a while. Piggy D, Scowl, Better Lovers, Reign of Ruin, Violent Vera, Vows, Spite, Speed of Light, TSS, Keen, Heal the Dark, and Enox. And then for the Sick New World Texas 2026, System of a Down, Deftones, Slayers bringing their 40 years of Rain and Blood, Evanescence, Ministry, AFI, Marilyn Manson, Under Oath, Clutch, Down, Cold Chamber, Poison the Well, The Prodigy, Terror, Static X, Not Loose, Glassjaw, Speed, POD, Mastodon, Orgy, Skin Lab, Filter, Power Trip, Wage War, Eight Calicus, Twin Tribes, Superheaven, Failure, Kitty, Norma Jean, Lords of Acid. Oh, they're on both shows. Taproot, Better Lovers, Dying Wish, Reign of Ruin, Haywire, Violent Vera, Speed of Light, Cane Hill, Dystopia. Hey, look at there.
Mm-hmm.
Amira, Elfaki, uh, The Dark, Enox, Boy Harsher, Who Wants Smoke, KMFDM, and then Deaf Heathen. So there are the lineups for that. Tickets are on sale now at sicknewworldfest.com. So if you wanted to go to either one of those shows, you can already go get tickets and prepare for a year away.
Nice. Yeah, I mean that's getting your shit together right there.
Yeah, that's just crazy.
Yeah,
Like when I seen that last week, I was like, oh well, probably January, February, I'll have something. Shit.
they're like, mm-mm.
No, we got you next week, brother. We got
Yeah, yeah,
you.
we're holding it down. Hell yeah.
Crazy.
All
Then
right.
I know we got some big ones. So
Yeah. All right, for hitting the road for the week of the 18th through the 24th, starting off at the PRP. Well, everything's from the PRP this week. They're a very, I will give the PRP, they are a very comprehensive source as far as concert.
yeah.
They may not get 100% of them, but man, they get a lot of them. Leading off this week, we have Bell Witch and Aerial Ruin doing a very, very quick jog through the Pacific Northwest in December, starting December 10th in Portland, Oregon at the Star Theater, finishing December 14th in Vancouver, British Columbia at the Pearl. Then we have Weed Eater, The Goddamn Gallows, and Bronco going out starting December 9th in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania at Capital City Music Hall, finishing December 20th in Raleigh, North Carolina at Chapel of Bones. There is a Tennessee date, December 13th in Murfreesboro at Hop Springs.
Isn't
And
that Weed Eaters like this is their final tour?
I think it might be.
Yeah.
Have to double check that, but you might be right. And then we mentioned this earlier when we were talking about their new drummer, but we have Trivium, Ginger, and Harriot starting October 31st in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina at the House of Blues, finishing December 14th in Orlando at Hard Rock Live. Then we have Super Heaven, Balance, and Composure and Soul Blind are going to the UK and Ireland in January, starting January 16th, 2026 in London, England at the O2 Forum, Kentish Town, finishing January 22nd, 2026 in Dublin, Ireland at Academy. Pig Destroyer has announced a couple of headlining shows in December. The 13th and the 14th at Johnny Brenda's in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. The show on the 13th will feature Dead Guy and Intercourse, and the show on the 14th will feature Malignancy and Chepang. Head PE and Nonpoint are going to Australia and New Zealand next year, starting
Oh, wow.
starting February 6th in Sydney, Australia at Manning Bar, finishing February 14th in Wellington, New Zealand at San Fran. Then Big Ass Truck IE has scheduled a few headlining off dates from their appearance on the Kyoto's tour, starting November 14th in Jacksonville, Florida at Hard Love, finishing December 20th in Los Angeles, California at the Roxy. Then Ingested is going to be a busy group. Starting in November, they will be going on a North American headlining tour with Distant of Sulfur, Cell, and Crucifixion, starting November 6th in Fresno, California at the Full Circle Brewing Company, finishing December 6th in Pomona, California at the Glass House. They will be in Nashville on November 29th at the End. Then they will be going to Europe and to the UK with Body Snatcher and Big Ass Truck. I don't know if it's the same I don't know if Big Ass Truck and Big Ass Truck IE are the same band. I
Mm.
don't know if they are. Anyway, they will be going to Europe and to the UK starting March 4th, 2026 in Southampton, England at Engine Rooms, finishing at March 29th in Antwerp, Belgium at Tricks Club. Then Employed to Serve and Cage Fight are going to the UK starting March 20th in Shipley, England at the Kirkgate Community Centre, finishing March 28th in Cardiff, Wales at the Club I4 Bach. Then Foo Fighters and Queens of the Stone Age are going on tour with Mannequin Pussy and Gouge Away alternating as openers. I don't name the bands. It just is what it is. I don't know where they come up with this shit. Starting August 4th of 2026 in Toronto, Ontario at Rogers Stadium, finishing September 26th in Las Vegas, Nevada at Allegiant Stadium. They will be at Nissan Stadium in Nashville on August 15th. Then the mother load of all mother load tours for next year: Iron Maiden, Megadeth, and Anthrax. Who Anthrax will only be performing at select dates. And I'm hoping that I have to talk about this tour more than once because I hope there's a hell of a lot more dates than what they've announced.
Right.
because as of right now, there's only like a dozen, and I don't really see that being all the dates that they're gonna do, considering like we talked about, it's Iron Maiden's 50th anniversary and Megadeth's farewell tour. So we'll see. However, for now, the tour starts August 29th in 2026 in Toronto, Ontario at Scotiabank Arena, finishing September 29th in San Antonio, Texas at the Alamo Dome. Anthrax will be at that show. Russian Circles and Pelican are going on a European tour starting May 8th in Oslo, Norway at Desert Fest, finishing May 23rd in Helsinki, Finland at Sonic Rights. Then Peeling Flesh has announced some very last minute US headlining shows because for some reason they weren't allowed to go into Canada. Who knows?
Hmm.
So
Wow.
those shows are coming up. The first one is actually tomorrow in Louisville at Spaceman. Then Monday in Cleveland at Mahal's, Tuesday in Detroit at the Shelter, and Wednesday in Pittsburgh at Preserving Underground. Then Yob has announced some Australian dates for their first appearance in that country in over a decade, starting February 15th in Perth, Australia at the Rosemount Hotel, finishing February 22nd in Brisbane, Australia at Crowbar. Then Bolzer, Vitriol, The Ruins of Beverast, Misperming, and then Tripanrings Ritualen. I don't know. This name of this band is like this fucking long, but I'm not going to try to pronounce it again because I might summon something. They're gonna be going to Europe starting February 20th in Berlin, Germany at Lido, finishing March 22nd in Dresden, Germany at Pushkin.
You think they wasn't on tour with Sing Whistler Bob or whatever?
Yeah, right. Then Bleed From Within, Disembodied Tyrant, and Based are going to the UK and Ireland. Starting March 1st in Edinburgh, Scotland at the Liquid Room. Bleed From Within is going to be at that show only, so that's going to be like an evening with, I guess. Finishing March 14th in Birmingham, England at the O2 Institute. Then Pussifer with comedian Dave Hill opening the show is going to be going on a U.S. tour starting March 20th in Las Vegas, Nevada at the Chelsea at the Cosmopolitan of Las Vegas. Finishing May 14th in LA at the Greek Theater. They will be in Nashville at the Pinnacle on March 27th. Then Electric Callboy is going out, and they are going to be super busy with Barry Tomorrow and Wargasm on a European tour starting November 1st in Copenhagen, Denmark at the Royal Arena, finishing January 25th of next year in Lisbon, Portugal at the Sala Tejo/MEO Arena. Then they were going on a North American tour with Polaris and Scene Queen starting April 17th in Dallas, Texas at the Southside Ballroom, finishing May 27th in Boston, Massachusetts at the MGM Music Hall at Fenway. They will be at the Pinnacle in Nashville on May 19th. Then they're going to Japan and Australia, starting August 29th in Osaka, Japan at Gorilla Hall, featuring the Electric Callboy DJ set. I don't exactly know what that means. I guess Electric Callboy has a DJ. I don't know much about this band, to be completely honest with you. Finishing September 12th in Brisbane, Australia at River Stage. And then lastly, Combust, Speedway, and Imposter. Imposter is going to be is only going to be appearing at the UK dates. Going to Europe and to the UK, starting January 22nd in Antwerp, Belgium at the Kavka Udon, finishing February 8th in London, England at The Grace. So that's hitting the road for the 18th through the 24th. Yep.
We need that. We need that sound.
We need some sort of intro to that segment. I think we do.
We'll have to work on that. I don't know how I would be able to do that live though.
I don't know.
Hell yeah, I could probably add the video to the thing like I do the the intro. And
I think you can. I think you can insert it in there somehow.
Yeah, I'll have to work on it. I'll have to work on that.
You can slide it in there somewhere.
Yeah. It's all slippery.
If you're doing it right, yeah.
So Big Ass Truck is just a rock band that's a kind of funk and psychedelic. They're based out of Memphis. And then Big Ass Truck IE is from San Bernardino, California, and they're a heavy hardcore band. So they are different.
Two different bands. Okay. So I guess I should have done that homework myself, but I didn't. I didn't bother.
That's kind of what we're here for. We have each other's back. So
yeah. So I appreciate that. Now I know.
Yeah. The more you know.
That's right.
That will take us into our theme of the week. This week's theme of the week is make or break.
Yep.
And I got the make side of that. And then
yeah.
Chris is going to break it all down after that. So uh, so I think I got to like 17 or something, somewhere around in there.
Yeah,
So
I got to 25, and then there were some that I was gonna add, and I still might, but they were some of the ones that I was gonna add to this one was I held them back for now because they technically were on, well, no, technically they were actually on another theme that we did only about 2 or 3 weeks ago, but I mean it's still
oh, gotcha,
they,
gotcha.
so I was like, still too recent, so
Yeah, gotcha. Yeah, it makes sense.
yeah.
All right, I'll kick mine off with Devil Driver, You Make Me Sick from Beast 2011. Then I have In Flames, Meet Your Maker from Foregone
Ooh,
2023.
yeah.
Then I got Eyes of the Living, Make the Blood Run from Fear Comes Knocking 2022. Then I got Dark Divine, Make Me Disappear. That is actually a new single that just came out earlier this year. Then I got Megadeth Kingmaker from Super Collider 2013.
As far as I'm
Um,
concerned, the only good song on that album.
yeah. Then I got Corn, Make Me Bad from Issues 1999. Avatar, Make It Rain. That's a single from last year. I'm not sure. Maybe it'll be on the new album. I'm not sure, but we'll see.
That new
Um,
album. So looking forward to that new
yeah.
album.
Yeah. What's that? Next week. Next
Next
week.
week.
Yep.
Yep.
Godsmack, Make Me Believe from Faceless 2003. Whitechapel, Make It Bleed from Whitechapel 2012. Um,
Whitechapel.
Whitechapel. Uh, Make Them Suffer is kind of went with a band name there. Well, I guess I could have banned that album because it's a self-titled album. So, just put the song Epitaph in there. I like that song. It's a good one. So, from Make Them Suffer
Yeah.
2024.
That does
Then
count as a twofer, by the way. I'll give, and that does count.
that
It
does
does
count.
count.
Then I went with Halloween, Make Fire Catch the Fly, Straight Out of Hell 2013. Then I went with Of Mice and Men, You Make Me Sick from Restoring Force 2014. The Ghost Inside, Make or Break. There you go. There's the whole thing.
Yeah.
The Ghost Inside 2020. Went with Savage, Make My Day from Glory Riders 2023. Then we will Left to Suffer, Make It Out Alive from Leap of Faith 2024. I got Make Them Suffer and Left to Suffer on the same list.
Yeah.
That's kind of odd. Then I went with UDO, Make the Move from Steel Factory 2018. And then last but not least, Attila, Make It Stick from Rage 2010. So, yeah.
Nice. Nice. Very nice. All right. For the break portion this week, like I say, I stopped at 25, but there are some songs I'm, probably going to add at the tail end of this thing. Because there was one band that had I had 4 songs to choose from. I was like, I'll just go with this one. So they may be making multiple appearances on the list, which is fine. It's totally fine. Leading off, I think, with kind of a no-brainer, Breaking the Law by Judas Priest off of British Steel from 1980. Then we have Broken Hands by Lamb of God off of Wrath from 2009. And you either loved them or you hated them, but Break Stuff by Limp Bizkit off Significant Other from 1999. Breakthrough by Sacred Reich off of Heal from 1996. Then we had Break the Spell by Arch Enemy off Blood Dynasty from this year. Then I'm Broken by Pantera, Far Beyond Driven from 1994. Break Into the Wild by Dynasty off of Titanic Mass from 2016. Then we have Break Enter by Annihilator off Suicide Society from 2015. Then we have On Broken Glass by Malevolence off Malicious Intent from 2022. My album of the year from 2022, by the way. Then we have Broken Beat and Scarred by Metallica off Death Magnetic from 2008. I Break You from Ectomorph off of Instinct from 2025. Break the Silence by Killswitch Engage off As Daylight Dies from 2006. All Hell Breaks Loose by Destruction off the album of the same name from 2000. Broken Promises by Mortal Sin from An Absence of Faith from 2007. Broken Wings by Dream Evil off of their album 6 from 2017. Breaking All the Rules by Ozzy Osbourne, No Rest for the Wicked, 1988. Incineration, The Broken World by Trivium off of Vengeance Falls from 2013. What Doesn't Break Doesn't Heal by Cataclysm off of Meditations from 2018. Then I have a trio from some guest of ours. We have Breaking Point by Hidden Intent from Dead End Destiny from 2021. Hourglass Breaking from Never Fade from Thieves in the Night from 2025. It was released as a single in 2024. Then Neck Breaking Dance from Game Over off of Face the End from earlier this year. Then we have 4 a.m. Breakdown by Avatar off of Schlacht from 2007. Breaking the Walls by Hysterica from The Art of Metal from 2012, Broken by Sentenced off of Crimson from 2000, and lastly, This Relationship Broken by Devil Driver off of Dealing with Demons Volume 2 from 2023. So,
Nice.
yeah.
Pretty good playlist there.
Yeah. Not bad at all.
I'm sure I'll find some stuff to add to that other side too. But
Oh, I'm sure. And like I say, I do have probably 5 or 6 that I was going to put on here and decided not to, just because of the recency of another list. So, but I already have the playlist actually made up,
oh, nice.
and now it is in your inbox.
Yep,
And there it is right there. So
yeah, there it is. So,
yeah, so there it is. So
in real time. So
yeah, that's right. So yeah,
uh,
we'll get that sucker compiled and posted more than likely by the end of the day. So
yep, sounds like it. So I'll probably do it when I get off here. So,
yeah.
all right, that will lead us into our album reviews this week.
Yep.
So I got to go back because there was like so many EPs this week. So surely I can find 3 or 4 to review from all that. So
Yeah.
because I'm behind on EPs.
Oh, I'm
I've
so
listened
far behind.
to a few, but I only have 3 listed as contenders right now. So
Yeah, that I'm upset with myself because that was actually one of the things I wanted to focus
yep.
on. Was to do I wanted to make sure I did a little bit more of a focus on this year, and I just haven't.
Mm-hmm.
I got no excuse. I just haven't, and
Pepper's Farm.
I
Pepper's
feel bad.
Farm remembers.
Yeah, and I do. I feel bad. Yeah, I do.
All right. Album reviews this week. I went with Jet Jaguar Severance. They're a heavy speed metal band formed in 2014 and hailing from Cancun, Mexico. This is some
Nice.
interesting. They were named after a character in Godzilla film series, and they were the winners of the 2017 Wacken Open Air Metal Battle.
Oh shit! Nice.
There you go, man. So a little history lesson there. Wasn't expecting to find all that when I was researching, but glad I did. Current members are Jorge Ramirez, bassist, Jimmy Lozano, drums, and this one's going to kill me, but Ariuki Ars, guitarist, Raiden Lozenthal on vocals and guitars. So
Their vocalist name is Raiden.
let's see. Yes.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah. He actually just got added in 2024, so they had an album in 2020. So I want to go back and see. I want to go back and see kind of where the difference is with that. So the Jorge and Jimmy were actually the 2 mainstays in the band since the beginning. So
Okay.
then Ariuki joined in 2020, which that's when the full length came out, and then this is their second album right here. So
Gotcha.
So the last he's been in there since and it's going to be an important part of why I'm talking about that. So he's been in there for both albums, which makes me want to listen to that album now. But even I don't care who's singing. This could have been an instrumental, and I probably would have still gave it.
Gave it what you gave it.
Yeah. Not saying the vocals are bad. I'm just saying that's how good the instrumentals were.
No, I get you. I get you.
Like I said, this is the band's second full-length release. 10 songs, 47 minutes, 34 seconds in length. And if you want to talk about a band that will take you back, it has an 80s and 90s vibe to it, but it's definitely modernized. You can tell that. I mean, it's not the the Tufts and Pretty Boy Floors, which is kind of crazy because, like I said, I just watched that documentary and then I listened to this and I'm like, wow, this is just too canny. It's like, but yeah, so it's kind of like made me think like if I was to listen to that kind of metal now, I would kind of visualize this being one of the bands maybe involved in that movement.
Okay, all right.
Not to say it would be glam or whatever. I'm just saying that if that kind of sound, not the look, the sound from the 80s and 90s were today, then I would imagine that band would be stuck in here somewhere, because we know, God forbid the looks back then. That's kind of like when you was talking about the other guy that Mark Free passing away. I'm kind of like, weren't they all like, women than
Well,
anyway.
I
So,
mean, there was
uh,
there was a definite intentional androgyny back then. Yeah. But I
yeah,
mean, as far
yeah,
as people going so far as to come out as transgender, no,
right,
it was
right.
completely different. It was just a
The thing,
it was just it was basically just a performance facade is what it
the,
was. But I mean,
the thing that that era should have showed anybody in music is how many closet lesbians there was. Because you were on
right.
stage looking like a girl, and then girls wanted to go home with you.
Right.
So
Yep. Yeah.
just saying, like,
Hey,
but anyway, back to the back
you
to
got a case. You got a
yeah
case.
back to the album here. I don't want to get too far off here,
Right.
you know, vocally, Raiden has some great range, and he can mix up the fast paced lyrics and screams, and then tone it down too to give you a kind of a ballad like lullaby sound, which was really cool. Trying to remember which shit, I can't remember which song that was now, but there's a song on there that kind of it was like you got this sound and then like you're visualizing things and then all of a sudden they switch the sound up on you. You're like, whoa, what the fuck is this? Like,
Yeah.
you know, but it was so good. It was like it kind of got a little darker and eerier, I guess. And then his vocals kind of dropped and kind of gave you more of that ballady type vocal tempo. It was really good. Like I was like, man, I like this, dude. This is pretty wild. Like, you know, 4 songs in and you're already fucking with me, like, yeah. So, but I'm gonna tell you right now, the standout in this album is the guitarist, Yuki, man. Like this guy, I automatically added him to my probably most underrated guitarist list for sure, man. Like
Oh, all right.
this dude was fucking unreal, dude. Like from the solos to, you know, and the things he does that just sound and seem so effortless and like smooth transitions, you know, it's just like, golly, dude, this dude's been, you know, was born with a guitar in his hand, which was probably
Mm.
rough on the pregnancy,
Yeah. That poor mother.
yeah, yeah. Wait, we got a baby. Oh, we got an amp.
Yeah.
It's like,
Congratulations, it's a
uh,
Fender.
yeah, there you go. Damn it, I wanted a PV. But anyway, you know, definitely one of the highlights of the record was like not taken away from anything else, man, because it was like to all together collectively was awesomely done. Um, the I can't express, you know, how much I really do love the guitar work on this record. Well, I mean, I guess I kind of did, but,
Yeah, kind of did.
but I don't think I could find the words to go any further detail of how much like I liked it above that. But the drumming was amazing as well, fast paced, lots of bass kicks going on, just the right amount of cymbal use. You know, for some reason, like here lately, I've been like listening for that because I've heard a lot of records where I just feel like the cymbal is like overly used sometimes, and it's like, you know, it's it's like I'll be listening to it, jamming out, and I was like, man, what the fuck did that come? Why'd you even include that? It fucked it up. Uh, but but I mean, but you know, there's a reason for cymbals. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
There's a place and reason for them. But sometimes I just feel like they're misused sometimes. But yeah, I think
Right.
everything was just the
Yeah.
right amount in this record. So there was like a 2 minute and 3 second instrumental in there on track 3, but it was so good that you didn't even notice it was an instrumental. Like
That's a good thing.
it was like one of those things where I'm just going like, oh, was that it? Like, oh shit, that was so good. I was getting into it, and it almost like blends in with track 4 too. So it's kind of you know, kind of let me go back and make sure I'm not telling you wrong because I'm trying to remember what song that was with
That wasn't from me.
no, that was me this time. Um, I take that back. The ballady type song was down in number 7. So yeah, so 3 and 4 did kind of, and for some reason 3 was like a remix. So I'm not sure if that's been on like a single or a regular another album at some
Oh, okay.
point,
All right.
and he just redid it, or if it was like a
Okay.
demo from back in the day, or you know whatever it was. But anyway, um, man, this album's it really does. I mean, it kicks ass, dude. I'm gonna give it an easy 4 horns, and hell, if more I listen to it, I may actually increase that. I don't know, man, but right now it's definitely an easy 4 horns for me. So
Nice. Yeah, there's nothing that says you can't go back and update the score. I mean,
We'll,
I've
we'll
done it.
find we'll find out in December.
Yeah, I mean, I've done it before. I've done it before. Upon further review, but like, maybe
Yeah,
I wasn't as generous as I could have been. So
yeah. Flag on a play.
that's right. Yeah, that's right. All right. My album review this week was an album that we got from Scarlet Records in our inbox. I decided to listen to that by Electrostorm. The new album is Evertale. They are a power metal band formed in Italy in 2023. Not actually sure what part of Italy they're from, but they're probably from the part that doesn't have chicken parmesan or
Yeah,
chicken alfredo
chicken
rather.
Alfredo. Yeah.
Um, but thanks to Never Obey Again for shattering my world as far as that
I
goes.
know, right?
Yeah, their lyrical themes are legends, mythology, and fantasy. Like I say, they are currently signed to Scarlet Records. This is their second album already. Formed in 2023, this is their second album. Their debut album, Power Lords, came out last year. So, a busy group so far. They are a quintet consisting of David Sportiello on bass and keyboard, Matteo Norbedo on drums, Matteo Antoni on guitars, Francis D. Mary on guitar and vocals, and then Crystal Laura Emiliani, the female vocalist. All current original members, which is good, but you would also hope since they've only been around for 2 years. The new album is 9 tracks long, 41 minutes and 3 seconds. And I'm going to start off by saying that this would be the perfect band for our friends in Valkyrie's Fire to tour with,
Oh, nice. Okay.
because I was listening to this album and I was like, this is Valkyrie's Fire in Europe.
Oh,
I mean,
wow.
because
Okay.
I mean, not note for note, they don't sound exactly alike. But I mean, I was listening to this. I was listening to the album because you have a male vocalist and a
Hmm.
female vocalist, both singing clean. So I mean, you have them doing the duets like Betty and Adam do. Um, Basically, everything that Valkyrie's Fire does, this band does. And I'm not trying to use that as like a shortcut for the review, as a cop out for the review or anything, but I was listening to this album, I was like, everything that this band is doing, Valkyrie's Fire can do or has already done, and
Hmm.
in some instances they do it better. Because and I'm not trying to disrespect this band at all, because I mean, Francis has got a great voice, the male vocalist. Francis can sing really well. Crystal can also sing very well. But Betty and Adam have higher top end. They have more of a top end to their range, so they
Well,
can hit higher notes.
so you got
Um,
you got to take into consideration the musical education with Valkyrie's
yep,
Fire too.
yeah,
So
you do.
so
So that's the thing, is I don't know like the musical background of this band other than what I've heard. So I don't know if they, if they have, operatic background like Betty does, so I don't know where all of their education and background comes from. I'm just going by what I could hear. But, and then, you know, like I say, just comparing, bass, you know, bass player, Dave and David. Oh yeah, Dave and David.
oh
They
wow.
both basically have the same name, but of course, David plays the keyboards in the band too, and obviously we know at this point that that Valkyrie's Fire has their own keyboardist, with
Hmm.
the addition of Salem, so she's the keyboardist. So the bass player and the keyboardist, they does double duty in this band, and then Mateo on drums. I mean, Ryan, you know, there's not, like I said, there's nothing that this band has done that I haven't heard Valkyrie's Fire do. So I think they would be. I'm trying to sing the praises of this band by talking
Right.
about how well Valkyrie's Fire does what they do. I really think that if I could book these two bands together, I would do it in a heartbeat, because I think
They just mesh well.
they would complement each other so well without sounding exactly alike, is what I'm trying to
Hmm.
say. I will say one thing though: what this band does with two guitarists, Valkyrie's Fire does with one.
Well, yeah. Well, like
Joey,
I said,
because
Joey's pretty amazing. So.
Joey is, you just mentioned underrated drummers.
Hmm.
Joey, our buddy Joey plays out of his mind, and like I say, Valkyrie's Fire only has one guitarist, where this band has to have two. But I mean, as far as as far as like the musical production and some of the, lyrical content and stuff, I mean, it's similar to what Valkyrie's Fire does. And like I say, I mean this in all the good ways. I mean it
Right.
in all the good ways. So I could, and especially with them being based over there in Italy and power metal having the foothold that it does over there in Europe, I can see this band making it. I really can, because of the sound that they do have. I will the one thing vocally that Crystal does that Betty hasn't done. I don't know if she can or can't, but I haven't heard her do it. I don't know what you call this effect. The only way I know to equate it is, what Dolores O'Riordan does when she sings
Mhm.
Zombie. That gravelly thing that
Oh
she
yeah,
does
yeah.
with her voice. Crystal does that from time to time on this album, and I've
Oh,
and
okay.
I've never heard Betty do that. She probably can, but she doesn't sing that way in Valkyrie's Fire.
Mhm.
Well, Crystal does. That's really like the only difference vocally that I've heard between Crystal and Betty, other than Betty being able to hit higher notes. But she's got that training, like you said. So yeah, I think Electra Storm and Valkyrie's Fire on a bill together would be, with, let's see, with maybe, because I mean, if you're talking about power metal bands, I mean, I could see. Here's what I would like to see. I would like to see, if I could put these two bands on a bill together, I would probably have either Sabaton or Primal Fear maybe be the headliner, and then
Mm.
Electra Storm and Valkyrie's Fire kind of be direct support. I would have just a power metal bill go around. That's probably something that I would do. But of course, I'm not a promoter, but I
Right.
think I think that tour would definitely do well, especially over in Europe. It would do great, but
Oh yeah.
it would also give Dave and Betty and them the exposure,
Oh exactly. Yeah.
overseas. So I mean, I think it would do really well over there.
Which
But
talking to them, they have a lot of fan base there anyway.
they
So,
do. They absolutely do.
so
So it would be awesome for them to be able to go perform over in Europe.
mhm.
But and I know they would go in a heartbeat if they could.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so I'm gonna give this new album 3.5 horns, and like I say, that could potentially be low right off
Mhm.
the bat. So that one could be that could be 3.5 horns with an asterisk. So we'll see
Gotcha.
how it goes. We'll see.
All right. All right. So, what do we got to look forward to next week?
Okay, strap yourself in, folks, because
Besides Avatar.
yeah, strap yourself in, folks, because this is a long list. There's actually 2 different ads in the middle of this list for
Oh
next
my
week.
God.
It's a
I'm gonna have to go over there and read with you. Hold on.
it is a long list. But from our friends over at heavymusichq.com, next week, rounding out October, Jason's wife, her favorite holiday,
Yeah.
October 31st, Halloween night, leading off with Abominator with the Fire Brethren, Abysmal Descent with Dismal Thoughts, uh, Af, Af,
Half a number. Maybe?
Fainmer? I don't know. I thought it was Apenhammer at first, but that's a completely different band. But uh, a Phanimer, I don't know,
That sounds right.
with
Yeah.
Utopia, All India Radio with the Unified Field, All Seeing Eyes with We Are the Revolution, Alpha Destroyer with Fast Lane, Amara with New Exile, Anna von Hauswolf with Iconoclasts, Apep with the Invocation of the Deathless One, that's a re-release. We have Aquila with Sentinels of New Dawn, Arafel with the End Chanter, Archaic Thorn with Malicious Spears, Artillery and Storm with A Narrow Escape, that's an EP. Asleep at the Helm with Ornate Resentment, that's an EP. Avatar with Don't Go Into the Forest, and I promise you I will be listening to that
Oh
one.
yeah.
It won't be my album review because we already know about
Right.
Avatar, but that one's going to be on the list next week for sure. Aviana with Void, Barren Path with Grieving, Bastard Cross with Cross Ripper, Believe in Nothing with Rot, Bianca with a self-titled album, Bina with Onkos, The Black Cat's Eye with Decrypting Dreams of Weird Animals and Strange Objects, Black Cross Hotel with Songs for Switches, Black Soul Horde with Symphony of Chaos, Bloody Moon with Lost and Damned. We have Boom Patat with Ma Belgitude, Burned in Effigy with Tyrannus Eternum, Cadaver with Hallucinating Anxiety, that's a re-release. We have Cal with whatever the fuck language this is. Ludzi Bladzasi with Nochi. I don't know. Canvas of Silence with As the World Tree Fell. Semicon with, oh my lord, Ook 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 Ankil
Oh
Maya
my god.
Maya Kaj. I don't know. I probably just cast a spell on somebody somewhere in the world. Chained to the Dead with Something Happened on the Way to Hell. It was probably because of that last album title. Chat Pile, and Hayden Pedigo with In the Earth Again. Creeper with Sangavore 2, Mistress of Death. Hold your horses, dog. I'm doing something. Damned by the Pope with Blasphemy Perpetuated and Decennium of Damnation. So they have looks like, sheesh. So they have an album and an EP coming out next week, I guess.
Oh, nice.
Danheim with Heimford. Defecto with Echoes of Isolation. Demiurgus with Equilibrio, Despised Icon with Shadowwork, Dodd Sang Temple with Hymns from the Chapel Morgue, Dragon with Live in Pain, Dwelling Below with Wearisome Guardians, Electric Bone Rattle with The Descent, Embraced by Darkness with Ex Infernus, Empire Drowns with Endless Night, Filet o' Flesh with Inner Peace. Give me that filet of flesh. Fur with Het Sinister Oog, that's an EP. Flessia with Octorbonixtas. Yeah, let's go with that. A Flying Fish with El Pez Cavallo, Act 2. Funeral Harvest with Malum in Se, that's an EP. Gazpacho with Magic 8 Ball. German Pasquale with Beyond Our Comprehension and A New Beginning. A New Beginning is a re-release. Going Off with Kill List 2, that's an EP. Gum with Beneath the Wheel. Hammer Philosophy with Signum. Haxar with Tofel Skult. Headwreck with Attitude Adjustment, that's an EP. Heraldic Blaze with Monument of Will. Heteropsy with Embalming. Howling Giant with Crucible and Ruin. We have Ilvilia with La Meg Shah Alt Amkring Meg Fale. Inception of Eternity with Shadows in My Mind, that's an EP. Infrahumano with Depths of Suffering. Cathodos with Parasomnia, Pavor Nocturnus. Quale Mancello with Perkit. Kavad with Sort Skogsmesse. Laura Cox with Trouble Coming. Liminal Spirit with Unwell, that's an EP. Lunatic Soul with The Word Under Unsun. Malakim with And in Our Hearts the Devil Sings. Manta with Antidote. Moonspell with Opus Diabolicum. Mystic Circle with Hexenbrand 1486. Neural Dust with Deus Necare, that's an EP. New Breed with Outlaw. Night in Gales with Sylph-like, that's an EP. Nowhere to Run with What Did You Do, that's an EP. Nyrock with Phoenix Mortis. ODC with Twisted Love. One of Nine with Dawn of the Iron Shadow. Orgrel with The Abyssal Terror. Orm with Gold. The Other with Alienated. Outlaw with Opus Mortis. Pile of Knives with Driven by the Blade, that's an EP. Pokuta with Metanoia. Precious Blood with False Prophets. The Pretty Reckless. Taylor Momsen's Pretty Reckless Christmas, that's an EP. Primitive Man with Observance. Rabbit with Defenders of Rock. Red Shark with Sudden Impact. Rune Magic with Cycle of the Dying Sun. RVH Project with Land of the Damned. Sad with Full Moon's Bestial Awakening. You're not coming up here. You're not the cat. Sadistic Force with Morbid Odyssey. Saint Agnes with Your God-Fearing Days Are About to Begin. Sakna with Lost de Civ das Cinder. Saraya Sign with Shadows of the Dying Light. Sardonyx with Anthems of Warfare. Shusal with Freistfind. Self-God with Left Hand Pagan. Psych Connect with Pestmon, that's an EP. Slug Boys with Listen to Slug Boys. Smash Into Pieces with Arma Heaven. Solamente with Requiem, Grief in 5 Stages. Spite with New World Killer. Starlight Ritual with Rogue Angels. Stillbirth with Survival Protocol. Sipsis with Annihilated Existence. Tacomaha with American Basements, that's an EP. Tales of Mike with Human. Tapeworm Electric with Moonshine. Tarfod with Laidande. temples on Mars, rather, with the last ship, testimony of apocalypse, with Agony in the Garden, Thrawn with Vurios, Trivium with Struck Dead. That's an EP, and that's
Oh,
going to be on the
nice.
list. Unprocessed with Angel, Van Dampire with Hope Scars. Then various artists, Brown Acid, the 21st Trip, various artists, Killed by Death, a punk tribute to Motorhead, and various artists, Spaceship Landing, a tribute to Caius. Vengeance Rising with Anthology, Ventenor with Slow Dissolve, that's an EP. Then we have Seven Vitium with a self-titled album, Voodoo Highway with Maid and Kashat, Walking Bombs with Blessings, Bestrewn Part 2, and lastly, and certainly not least, if you've been following along for the last little bit, Wilt Wither with Pure Light. So take your pick and have fun with that. So
Yeah.
what?
A
What do you
lot to choose from.
What do you want?
Yeah.
You're on the thing. You're on the thing. They can see you. You're on the thing. See, look at you're on the thing. They can see you. They can. They can see. Look, they can see you. You're right there. She's actually I mean, hell, she's been in here for almost 2.5 hours. She's actually been really good. So
yeah, she's probably got to go to the bathroom. So.
She's been good. Well, we went outside when I got up. So
oh, did you? Okay, so
yeah, so she's been good.
Anyway, that will conclude the content of the show there. So
yep.
And if you haven't already, do yourself a favor and check out our 24/7 streaming radio station at radio.thefrontrow.net. And we are at the bottom right now. Metalheads Unite.
For right now, we
right
are.
there. Yeah, for right now, yeah.
Yep. Follow us on all of our social media outlets, Facebook, our Facebook group and Facebook page, on X, Instagram, our YouTube channel, Twitch, Rumble, our TikTok account, and check out all the playlists and banner interviews on Spotify, and email us at metalheadsuniteusa@gmail.com.
Yep, there you go. And just to reiterate, we do have a guest on the show next Saturday, so we will start promoting that on Monday. So follow the socials, and you'll kind of know what's coming
to find out who. That's right.
So pretty cool. I'm kind of excited to get back into interviewing
some
bands. Yeah. So I know we've been a couple of weeks out. So
but. So we have guests on tap for the next 2 weeks, and maybe more depending on what shakes out with some of the emails we've sent out.
I'm kind of like weary of doing much right now because I won't know much about our work schedule till Monday. So I'm kind of like, wait and see what happens.
Yeah.
I know we agreed on something, but that don't always go that way. So
that's true.
That's kind of Luckily, I am right here, so if we have to, we can maybe move the time back a little bit or something to still get it in on Saturday morning. But hopefully they'll let me do what I want to do.
Right.
Be able to do my Friday and Saturdays off like normal because we do have the grandkids those 2 days, so we kind of like to plan that out around them. So
right.
Which they seem like they didn't have a problem with it, but like I said, everybody always seems like that when they hire you in. Then once you get hired in, it's all a different story. So,
yeah, they're like, "Gotcha, bitch." Yeah.
Yep. Exactly. so we'll see how that plays out. But yeah. So So in the meantime, happy Halloween, everybody.
That's right.
If I thought about it, I would have. Well, I don't know. Probably couldn't do it next week. Maybe after we interview it, I'll share the video of the yard or something afterwards.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So we'll have it all.
It's looking good so far.
We'll have it all finished up today. So
yeah, it's looking good so far.
Yeah, hopefully, I have it all finished up and everything hooked up. And I still got some spotlights to put out and shit. So.
Oh yeah.
So all right. Well. With that being said, I guess we will see you guys here next week with our special guests. So tune in, like I said, either tune in next week to find out or follow our socials and you'll know beforehand.
That's right.
In the meantime, keep those horns held high.